BoxBox Hub is an absolute essential for any Formula One fan, and the entire app with new widgets, statistics, localized race schedules, and countdowns, you name it. They even have support for Apple's new live activities feature with real-time updates during a race right on the lock screen, and honestly, some of the best looking widgets I've seen.
Welcome along, everybody. We are back for the 100% League. It is returning here in ALR after a season off, but we are back then with the 100% League. Realistic performance is also added to the mix as well. We've got 100% of the Austrian Grand Prix coming up for round one here in Spielberg. So welcome along to the stream. Welcome along to all as well. And we are ready to get going now for the first race of the season. A shorter season than the normal divisions as well, this one. It is only a 15-round season, this one, so it's going to be well, not a short sprint because, of course, it is 100% distance. But there we go then. We have got Vintage and Hungry Styles lining up in the Red Bull then, and looking forward to seeing what they can do in the Red Bull car. Sick as Muck and Serious Mushroom then pairing up in the Prancing Horse team in the Ferrari, and hopefully they will be able to get some good points as well in the Mercedes, we've got Ginner and Gordo, and I'm not quite sure that. Oh dear, it's a bit rainy, and we'll have to. I can't spoil it for you. I'm just looking at the qualifying screen, and it is a bit rainy here in Austria for the opening race of the season, or opening qualifying of the season, that is. So Gordo and Ginner lining up in the Mercedes team, Vessia and Moomin then in the McLaren, in the Papaya McLaren, of course, and looking forward to seeing what they can do alongside Equaz and Gamer there in the Alfa Romeo. And very fast candidates, those two as well. Of course, Ekwaz got his win in Canada last season in gold, and he's got some great pace under that car. Same for Gamer as well. So we'll see what they can do in the Alpine. We've got Kamara Racer, who unfortunately is not here tonight. So we have got a stand-in, which is Jay Hings in the Alpine for this one race tonight. But Kamara Racer and Favre then will be the Alpine lineup then for this season 2 of the 100% League. And then in the AlphaTauri, the fastest pairing then we've got in the slowest car, of course, but it's German and Lucas Percy then in the AlphaTauri seat. Then, of course, gold champion is Lucas Percy from season 9, and looking forward to seeing what he can do. And of course, German has got some great pace as well. We'll see what German can unlock in the AlphaTauri here in this season as well. In the Haas, we've got R2B, then returning driver from the first 100% League, and Kaidel as well. Great pairing indeed in the Haas then, and looking forward to seeing what they can do. Of course, not for Gunter anymore, because Gunter has been sacked, if you didn't know already. In the Aston Martin, Reflection and Martin lineup. Well, I suppose that makes sense, doesn't it, for Martin? But Reflection and Martin in the Aston Martin then, looking good indeed. And finally, last but not least, we've got the Williams team of Liam Yeh and Coop, both gold drivers there with good pace. So let's see what they can do here in Austria, and we will get ourselves over to the live stream. And there we go then. That is your, there we are. It is a bit rainy here in Austria for the opening qualifying of the season. And it is intermediate compound tyres for the Mercedes driver, I should say, of Ginner then, who is going to be setting us on the way, I think. So we'll come back to that one. But they're looking good indeed. We'll get the track map up so we can see what's going on the screen as well. There we go. Good stuff indeed. And we'll get the lap data up too. Perfect stuff. Well, welcome along, everybody. Here for Coop, says Pinhead. So Coop then, of course, racing in the Williams team tonight. And Hola, says Gordo, then speaking Spanish this time. Coop is in soup, says Equaz. And Blair's video, oh, sorry, that's Gordo. Sorry, going to get drier as the session goes on, apparently, says Gordo. I'm not quite sure if that he means just the qualifying or if that's going to be the same in the race as well. But it's 71 laps around here tonight. Then after the qualifying, which will be coming up in just just 15 minutes time or so now. So we've got the qualifying to be done and dusted, and then we'll be setting up the grid then for the first race of the season, 71 laps around the Austrian Grand Prix. And welcome along. Wet start, says Farf. Let's get it, Coop, says Pinhead as well. 100%, let's go. Love the rain, says Moomin as well. So he's a fan of the wet conditions, I should say. As Ginner there is going to be the first driver, I think, to set a time coming round the penultimate corner now in the Mercedes there. And Chappers, I said, Vamos, Coopy, and morning Chappers from Pinhead as well. So good stuff indeed. Here comes Ginner then up to the line, and he has done a 13.184 as the first lap time of the 100% League in Season 2. Good stuff indeed then in the Mercedes. Coop there with a 14.0. And Sick as Muck then in the 13.7s as well. So those are the first times coming in. As Lucas Percy then has absolutely smashed that. He's done a 12.5. Then he's meant to be in the slowest car. We've tried to slow him down as much as possible then for everybody else on the grid, but it doesn't look like it is going to be hindering him at all in the AlphaTauri. Fantastic stuff indeed. And we'll have to wait and see if anybody else can beat that. But at the moment, that is looking pretty impressive indeed. Liam Yeh with a 15.4, just setting his sights then in the Williams car. And we'll see what he can do in the next few stages. Gamer has done a 13.4 as well, up into P3 then for the Alfa Romeo team, and looking good indeed. Then, of course, we will want to stress, I did put it in the Discord as well, that, of course, this is we've set the grids up as best we can, but, of course, in the first few rounds, there might be some chopping and changing between the teams, then if drivers need to be adjusted into different cars. But we will come back to that one, of course, when we need to worry about that. But at the moment, we've got to find our best performances. Currently, the AlphaTauri team are in P1 and P2, looking for a front row on the grid then, as German has done a 13.1 at the moment, then putting himself P2 then on the grid behind his teammate of Lucas Percy and his rival, I suppose you could say, of Lucas Percy at the same time. Mushroom for the win, says Kiki. He is supporting the, where is he? He's in the Ferrari, but he's not out of the pits just yet, unfortunately, for a serious Mushroom. Hopefully he can get himself onto the track in the next few minutes or so. And Vamos says, Koopy, hi Penny, fancy seeing you here, says Chappers as well. And what are the chances indeed? What are the chances then of not an AlphaTauri front row? We'll have to wait and see if there's going to be any changes then in the rest of qualifying. Stickers Muck there, P7, then got R2B then up into P8 as well. He's gone in between the Ferrari and the Williams of Liam Yeh, and Martin has done a 25.9. I don't think that's representative of his best pace for Martin in the Aston Martin, which is going to be nice indeed for me to commentate on, but we'll see what he can do. Equaz up into P9 as well with a 14.8, but Kaidel has done a 14 as well, but it's a 14.1 there, puts himself P8, displaces his teammate down to P9 for the time being. There is only 12 times on the board. Jay Hings out on track, of course, reserving in place of Camaro Racer, if I can pronounce that right, and he is, of course, on holiday today, so he's going to be back for next week, which is going to be in Spain, I believe, so that will be round 2 then of the 100% League in a week's time. But first, we've got to get through Austria. Here comes Moomin Ninja up to the line. What can he do then in the McLaren? It's P8, then a 13.791, puts himself very comfortably up there as well. Jay Hings in the Alpine has done a 12.9. He's the second driver only in the 12s at the moment, and that is an incredible time then in the Alpine car. Fantastic stuff indeed. Good qualifying lap from him as well. Gordo's looking strong. Gamer, I think, just jumped up the order as well. We've had somebody else jump in the order as well as Vessier up into P10 there, into the top 10 then for the McLarens. Looking good indeed. They'd knocked out the Haas drivers, unfortunately, for the Haas team as it stands there. Gamer up into P2, just ahead of Jay Hings there as well in the Alfa Romeo. Good stuff from him into the 12s as well. So now onto the front row for Gamer. Equaz has improved there to a 13.0. That's P5 then for the Alfa Romeo outfit. That is looking good indeed. And we've had somebody else jump up the order. It's Kaidel into the 12s in the P4 and a 12.979 then for the Haas driver. Great stuff indeed. That's a great lap time indeed as well. You sound younger tonight, says Serious Mushroom. That's, I don't know if that's creepy or not, but there we go. So thank you very much, I suppose I could say. German there just back out on another outlap. McGorda then is trying to set the precedent once again, then back out onto the track too. And let's have a look and see who is going to be further down the order. Vintage, Far, Hungry Styles, Serious Mushroom. Or Vintage is coming out now, I think, but he's been held in the pit lane. But Vintage is just about to come out of the garage, I should say, just now. Jay Hings has got even faster. Lucas Percy even faster as well. Then that's a 12.4 then for the AlphaTauri driver. Fantastic stuff indeed to put himself back into pole position, or back into command, I suppose you could say, of pole position after he did already claim it. But Jay Hings then is saying that in the Alpine, it's no problem for me, and I'm going to go for P2 as it stands. Then he is just over a tenth and a bit away from pole position as well. That is looking good indeed for Jay Hings in the Alpine. Here comes Kaido, is coming back to the pit lane now. Equaz, they're coming through sector 2. Vessier up into P7 with a 13.169. That is not too shabby indeed then for Vessier. And Gordo then is back out on track as well. We'll come back to Gordo. Stickers Muck then has somebody else has just jumped up the order. I think there was a Coop, I think, just coming up. No, Coop coming out the pit lane, so it wasn't him. But I'm not quite sure who it was there, but there we go. But good stuff indeed so far into the 12s. 12.4 is the time to beat. Then here comes Stickers Muck round the final corner. Can he beat the 12.8? 12.4, I should say. He has beaten his time, though. He's up into P7 with a 13.1. That's a great improvement indeed by almost 0.6 of a second there for Stickers Muck. Great stuff from the Ferrari driver. And that is looking promising indeed as we get ourselves ready for the next push, I should say, for the qualifying. Of course, there's in the rain conditions, you can go out there for a lot longer than you normally would in the dry. You don't want to wear the tires out too much in the dry, but in the rain conditions, you can go for a bit longer, go for a few more laps, recharge the battery, and go again. So long as you've got enough fuel on board. Moving up into P11 then with a 13.5. Gordo has improved to P10 at the moment, but he's still going. I think he's on an improvement on the first sector. Let's see what he's up to in the second sector as well, as we come through to start off sector 3, then 3 and almost 4/10 up there for Gordo. That would put him in the realms of P5 with Jinner as it stands. Then let's see what he can do. Can he improve even further in sector 3 as well? The track, as we were told by Gordo in the comment section, is expected to dry up, or towards the end of it start to dry up a bit more compared to the start. Here he comes then around the final corner, then almost losing the car. Then it needs conditions and up to the line. It's a improvement of only almost 3/10 I should say, but it's not enough to improve his position, unfortunately, for Gordo. Stays P10 then with a 13.169, same time exactly as Vessia. And there we go. Then Germer's up into P3. He has improved then to a 12.7. Then he is currently just over or just under 3/10 away from his teammate in pole position. Equaz is improving there to 12.8 as well. He's done a great lap time and they get himself under P4. Good stuff from the Alfa Romeo driver as well. Fantastic indeed. And we've got a few more activities out on the track as well. Lucas Percy goes even faster at 12.297. That is looking formidable indeed. Then in the AlphaTauri, like I was saying earlier, we've tried our best to slow him down, but he's still doing the fantastic qualifying that we're accustomed to from Gold as well. But here we go then. Coop now round the final corner as well. Let's see what the Williams driver can do. Can he improve on P12 and can he get himself into the 12s? It's going to be close indeed. It's a 13.0, puts himself P8 as it stands. Good stuff indeed. And a good improvement as well from the Williams driver. Fantastic stuff on the track as well. Williams are Williams of Cooper into the top 10 there, but Liam seems to be struggling in these conditions. I'm not sure if it's the car or if it's the conditions for Liam, but up to the line he starts off another lap, I think. Vintage there in the Red Bull is down in the 14 still, unfortunately for him, but he's still improving then through sector 2. Can he improve enough through sector 3? Can he get himself further up the order from P16? Still in the pit lane is Favre, Hungry Style, Serious Mushroom and Reflection, who have not come out of the box just yet. Unfortunately for Vintage, he's invalidated his time then on this run, so he's going to have to go around again for the Red Bull team. On Monday I was coughing like an old man apparently for Serious Mushroom. I think that was definitely true. But fingers crossed I'm a bit better than I was on Monday. But first, it was my first commentating of the year on Monday in Silver's race. But it's going to be a bit more of a challenge, I think, tonight for 100% of the Austrian Grand Prix. 71 laps to come in the next after 6 minutes, I suppose you could say, of the qualifying, because we have got the 100% Distance League underway once again there for Season 2. German, they're just out the final quarter. They almost went over the track limits there, but he's gone pole position then with a fantastic time of 12.255. He jumps over his teammate there into the front row, or onto the front row, and also in front of the Lucas Percy that, of course, everybody saw in Gold last season, put in a fantastic job to win the title. And now the two AlphaTauris are looking formidable then in the opening stages of this Austrian qualifying, that is. But of course, it's still all to play for. There's still time for drivers to get themselves further up the order as well. Jinner then into P4 with a 12.7. That is looking good indeed for the Mercedes driver. Equaz and Gamer are back out on track, or Gamer's back out on track, I should say. Let's see what he can do as well. Kaidel in P7 as it stands as well is looking to get himself back underway. Coop stays P8, then Sickersmuck now down to P9, unfortunately, after the other drivers have demoted him down the order. Vintage has improved to a 13.3. That's P12 at the moment for Vintage. Liam there is back out on track as well. Then he's done a 13.4. He's got himself up the order into P13. As it stands, Martin down in P16 is the slowest of the time runners, but he's back out on track once again to start off another attempt in the Aston Martin here. And what we've got there, Percy needs a wheel removing, says Serious Mushroom. I think maybe that's the case. But Percy and German looking great indeed as it stands. Martin off the circuit there at turn 3. That is not where you want to go then. We don't rent that part of the circuit, unfortunately. And we've got these cars are making it close, says Gordo as well. And Cooper's in soup, says Serious Mushroom as well. Just reminding me how to pronounce his name. But I think it was Sean who needed the reminder, really. It wasn't myself. But thank you very much anyway. So there we go. Up into turn 3, we've got Moomin there up in, he's at half a tenth up on his time. Vintage there is coming back to the pit lane now, so he's going to be calling it a day then on this run. Sick as Muck just starting off another lap as well. Here comes Gamer then up into turn 3 as well. He's not improving on that time. Kaidel also not improving. I think the track is it getting wetter? I'm not quite sure if it's going to get wetter or if it's going to get drier, to be honest. Here comes Jay Hings though. Jay Hings invalidating his time there. We just saw him coming through sector 3, and unfortunately that has cost him he was improving, I think, on his time then as well. He would have been able to get himself further up the order potentially, but unfortunately having to abandon his time then after that invalidation. Then 3 minutes or 4 minutes to go then in this session. Then let's see what the rest of the drivers can do. Can they muster up a challenge to try and take that pole position away from German currently? X-Gamer is sliding his way through Sector 3, then losing control of the car, but managing to regain it very quickly indeed. But unfortunately, that will have cost him a lot of time there, and I think that he's decided to abandon his lap time here as well. Here comes Kydell then down into turn 9, the penultimate turn as well here, and now throwing it into the final quarter. Let's see what the Haas driver can do then in the in this qualifying. Then he's not improved, unfortunately, for Kydell. I think maybe just going again on this next attempt. So yeah, that was just a bit of a damp squib there. Moomin up into P5. I completely missed that, but Moomin's done a 12.8 there, puts himself P5 in the McLaren. Fantastic stuff indeed, ahead of both the Alfa Romeos as well. This is looking formidable indeed for Moomin as well, looking good in that McLaren. Then here comes Gorda. Then he has improved he's improved at turn 1 somehow by 2.5 tenths. So I'm not quite sure if that was on the last lap or if it's on this lap already, but he is, unfortunately, he's just a second or a tenth of a second away from his previous fastest lap, or fastest sector 1 then on the last lap. Then Liam is back in the pits. Martin is back out on track now. He's beat to P15 as it stands. But Beat is on track then, going through turn 4 now, and he is half a tenth up on his time. Then can he get himself another couple of tenths or so throughout the rest of the lap then to get himself further up the order? He could get himself into the realms of the top 10 if he can improve by a 2.5 tenths or so. Let's see what he can do. Unfortunately, he has abandoned his time, I think, there, so he's losing time now, unfortunately for him. But there we go then. Out on track, Kydell back out once again. Then let's see what Kydell can do. Can he improve this time? He has improved, but it has improved to P4, second row of the grid then for Kydell, looking good indeed in the Haas. Then a 12.670 splits Jay Hings and Jinner then into the second row then for the Haas driver. Fantastic stuff indeed. Then a Ferrari just coming out of the pit lane now, and yeah, that is good stuff indeed from Kydell. Then he is really impressed in the first few stages then of this qualifying. There is only 1.5 minutes to go then in the qualifying outfit as well. Now this is the first qualifying of the season, and we'll see if there's going to be any chopping and changing then in the last few seconds here in Spielberg. Coop is back out on the circuit as well. We'll have a look what Coop is up to as we go through into Sector 2. Now there's a lot of yellow flags, then a lot of drivers then slowing down, getting out of the way then of other rivals. Then into Sector 2 we go, or into Sector 3 we go now. A tenth up on his time, or 10th down on his time, I should say, previously for Coop then. So he needs to find over a tenth of a second in this final sector then to get himself further up the order. Then let's see what he can do as we go into the penultimate corner now for the almost the final time. I think it's going to be for Coop. Then he's going to have one more attempt, I think, to try and go for another lap then in this final stages of the qualifying. Up into P6 goes Coop. Fantastic stuff indeed. He improved massively then in the final sector. Up into P6 for the Williams driver. A 12.820 then is good enough for the third row of the grid as it stands. Then, of course, there is still drivers on track. Then Farfus retired in the pit lane. He didn't come out of the box at all, unfortunately. Moving up into P4 with a fantastic lap. Then German's gone even faster. He's into the 11s, is German there. 11.985 then for the Alpha Tauri driver. Fantastic stuff indeed, and that is currently pole position then by over 3 tenths of a second as well. Fantastic stuff indeed from German as well. Fantastic from the Alpha Tauri. Jay Hings is going to have something to say about that, I think, as well. Moomin might be able to try and I think Moomin has slowed down there, so I think that's Moomin's qualifying done and dusted. Kydell is back in the pit lane. He's not going to be able to improve on P5 as it stands. But everybody else is out on circuit. I think we'll have a look and see what Equaz can do in the Alfa Romeo, then going into the final couple of corners now as well. Can he improve on a 12.8, I should say? And let's see what he can do. Can he get himself into the 11s as well? Not quite. He has improved, sorry, to P6 then. 12.6 there, but we've got someone going in faster. It's Vessia there up into P3. Fantastic from the McLaren driver. He's done a 12.304. He's not too far off Percy's current time, but Percy is still out on track then, trying to get himself an improvement as well. Here comes Jay Hings there round the last couple of corners of Sector 3 as well. Let's see what we can do then. Equaz stays P8, then Kydell P7. Jinnah is going to be staying P9, Coop in P10. German coming around the final corner hasn't gone even faster again. There's German up into 11.9Z. Sick as muck P2. I completely missed that as well. That is great stuff indeed from the Ferrari driver. Here comes Jay Hings. He does improve on his time, but he stays P5. Lucas Percy. Can Lucas Percy have a say in this matter as well? Can he get himself back onto pole position then in the AlphaTauri, then round the final couple of corners here for the other second AlphaTauri driver. And they're not really second drivers to each other, to be fair. They're both very quick indeed. But here comes Lucas Percy, and it's pole position for Lucas Percy on the first race of the season, and 11.666, the sign of the devil indeed. And that is a great qualifying indeed. That is qualifying done and dusted here in Austria. And that is, well, the AlphaTauri front row. Then we tried to nerf them, but we couldn't do enough, unfortunately. Great stuff indeed from Lucas Percy and from Gerben as well to get themselves onto the front row. And AlphaTauri front row then for the first race of the season. That is incredible stuff indeed. And I don't know if the wet conditions helped them or hindered them in this one, but either way, they have powered through then in the first 18 minutes of the session, and they have got themselves onto the front row of the grid then. Fantastic stuff indeed from both the AlphaTauri drivers. Sick as muck with a great performance indeed in the Ferrari, then P3 for Sick as muck then, and we had Vest here I think in P4 as well. Fantastic qualifying from everybody indeed. That was just epic, to be fair. It was a bit of a difficult one to start off with the rain conditions as well. It did get drier throughout the session, but there we go then. Lucas Percy P1 for his first race in the 100% league here in season 2. Gerben in the AlphaTauri as well then on the front row. Sick as muck P3, Vessier in P4, great stuff from him. Jay Hings in the Alpine P5, McLaren of Moomin Ninja in P6, Kaido in P7, Equaz P8, then Jinner in P9, Gamer in P10, Gordo in P11, then Coop in P12, Vintage P13, Liam Yare in P14, Martin in P15, Beat in P16. Unfortunately, Favre, Styles, Serious Mushroom and Reflection did not get a time on the board then in the qualifying. Fantastic stuff indeed. We'll just let the drivers get themselves composed, get themselves ready then for the start of the Grand Prix. And there we go. That's why I haven't got the audio sorted for my game capture. There we go. Problem solved. So that'll be good. All good for the race now. But yeah, we'll get the drivers then all sorted then for the start of this session then. And whilst they get that started, we'll have a quick word from our sponsor.
BoxBox Hub is an absolute essential for any Formula One fan, and the entire app with new widgets, statistics, localized race schedules, and countdowns, you name it. They even have support for Apple's new live activities feature with real-time updates during a race right on the lock screen, and honestly, some of the best looking widgets I've seen.
Right then, we are back and we are ready to get racing here in Austria then. 71 laps for the opening race of the season. We will get the telemetry up. We will get the tyre compounds up as well. Here we go then. The whole, well, majority of the grid, apart from 2 on the medium compound tyres then. That is interesting stuff indeed. And we will ride on board then with the AlphaTauri then. The pole sitter of Lucas Percy then as we go into turn 3 and now down towards turn 4. Like I was saying, nice dry start. It seems there's a bit of cloud overhead here in Spielberg, so that might roll into a bit of rain as we go through the Grand Prix. We'll have to wait and see. It might stay dry for the whole thing. We'll have to wait and see as well. But a 2-stop strategy then is the possible strategy. Then a medium, medium, soft, or potentially a 3-stop, a medium, medium, soft, soft, if it stays dry as well then. But everybody on the grid then on the medium compound tyres, apart from 2, like I said, Coupe then in P12 in the Williams on the hard compounds then. So starting for looking for a longer first stint then than the rest of the field. Gordo is looking for a fast start though. He's on the soft compound tyres in the Mercedes, so he's going to be looking to try and make some places up into the top 10 as quickly as possible then on the opening few laps then for Gordo. But like I was saying, it is a long race then. You don't need to make too many aggressive moves then off the opening stages, because there's plenty of laps then to make up some positions in the rest of the race then. Here we go then. We're lining up then for the start of the Austrian Grand Prix, the first round of the 100% Season 2 season. And we're about to get it underway very, very shortly then, as the drivers then complete the formation lap and get themselves lined up on the grid, ready for the race start. And we'll try and find a better camera angle than this, because I can't quite tell what's going on down there. Yeah, there we go. So I think we're going to have to deal with this camera angle for the race start itself, which is going to be interesting indeed. But we'll find out how it all plays out, as I think the... nope, they're not coming on just yet then. Just waiting for the last couple of drivers to park themselves up. Here we go then. The 5 red lights are coming on here in Austria. The 5 red lights are out in Austria, and away we go for the 100% League Season 2, the first race of the season. There's contact between a McLaren and a Haas already. Then in towards turn 1 we go. And like I was saying in the commentary earlier, they don't have to be too aggressive then on the opening stages, because they've got plenty of laps to unfold. But there's already been contact before turn 1. Sigismund stays P3. Jay Hings is up to 1 place as well. Ekwaz has gained 3 places into turn 1. That's fantastic for the Alfa Romeo driver. And now into turn 3 we go, side by side with Vessia there, trying to get himself past the McLaren, and he's up into P5. He stays P5, I should say. Gordo up 4 places on the soft compound tyres. He's looking great indeed on those soft compound in the Mercedes. Into turn 4 we go, then trying to make up some more moves, as down the field we've got some more action, as Liam Muir up into P11. He's gained 3 places as well. Ginner's dropped down 3 places. Favre up 4 places already as well. Gordo now flying through then on the soft compound tyres. Can he get the move on B Vessia? Then into sector 3 we go, and he has to sit behind the McLaren. He's in a bit of a sandwich at the moment. Liam Muir and Ginner battling away. There's a car off the circuit. There is Gamer off the circuit. Then in the Alfa Romeo, he's got himself back underway, but he's dropped down the field, unfortunately for Gamer, and that is a struggle indeed there for the Alfa Romeo. Didn't see what happened then, if there was contact to help him off, but he did manage to get himself back underway quickly. Favre has switched places with Liam Muir up into P11 now for Favre in the Alpine, up 6 places already on the opening lap. Then we've finished off the first lap without too much incident, but we've got ourselves now another 70 laps or so to go. And oh, there's a Williams going wide there as well. That's Coop. I think Coop dropping down 2 places. He had a bit of a struggle then on the first lap there, but there's plenty of laps to go. Like I was saying, Vintage and Beat, they're battling away in the back of the field. Then Ginner and Kydell also battling into turn 3, and we've got a position change there. I think Ginner just trying to hold on to that position there ahead of the Haas driver of Kydell, and trying to squeeze him off the circuit, it looks like, but I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out for Ginner then, as Kydell there down the inside of turn 4, but he can't quite make the move then just yet. He's going to go side by side still through into turn 5, I think. Into sector 2 we go, and Ginner holds on to the place for the time being. Great stuff indeed, a great start indeed as well. Sigismund then is sticking with the top 2 AlphaTauris. Then he's looking formidable indeed as well in that Ferrari then, and the AlphaTauri is going to have something to think about still, I think, between that Ferrari, and of course Jay Hings is waiting in the wings as well in P4. Ekwaz there has dropped off the back then off the top 4 as it stands there. Lucas Percy second, the fastest lap of the race, and the second lap has been completed. We have still got 69 laps to go, so yeah, there you go, wink. But there we go, DRS now enabled as well as you enter lap 3. Favre's got himself past Kydell up into the points then is Favre after starting down in P17, and looking strong indeed at this stage of the race. But of course we've got a long race to go. Ekwaz and Gordo switching places as well into turn 3, and Gordo now up into P5 on those soft compound tyres. They have been flying. He is flying through now and up into P5. Very well done indeed from Gordo on the opening laps, but Ekwaz is fighting back there down towards turn 4, and Gordo with the inside line. He might be able to hold on to this place, even with Ekwaz using the DRS there down in towards turn 4, and Gordo on the soft compound tyres has just got himself ahead there of the Alfa Romeo, then up into P5 and stays P5 this time after making the move there into turn 3. Fantastic stuff indeed. Then into the next stages of the race then, of course, like I said, it's going to be a lot of racing to unfold here tonight then. 71 laps of this race as Ginner and Favre switching places as well now, and trying to cover off the attack then from the Mercedes, as Favre has gone very wide there, and Ginner has been let back through with a fantastic move there from the Mercedes driver, back up into P9 as well. Ginner now is I think he's got some DRS as well to play with potentially. Gordo sets the fastest lap of the race, then he's trying to chase down the top 4 now as Gordo in the Mercedes, looking good indeed then at the moment, but of course those soft compound tyres will drop off a lot earlier than those on the mediums. Oh dear. Sorry, as there's action up in the front there. Lucas Percy has lost the lead then to his teammate of Gernman. Sick as Buck is waiting here, trying to make any moves up as well that he can make, and maybe get himself onto the front row, or the previous front row of the grid. Favre and Kydell battling away again there. There's a lot of fighting going on here with Ginner as well. Ginner is involved in this battle too, as into turn 4 we go then. Favre is on the outside, Ginner's got the inside, and Ginner keeps the place for the time being, but Kydell and Favre, and now Coop has joined the battle as well. All the battle is starting just outside the top 10 at this stage. But like I said, they've got plenty of laps to go to unfold in this one. Out in front, Lucas Percy stays P2 this time. He's lost out one place then from his starting position to his teammate of German, but I think the AlphaTauris might be looking to work together in the opening stages of this race to try and see if they can pull away from the rest of the grid there. But they've got a Ferrari and they've got an Alpine of Sick as Muck and Jay Hings just holding station at the moment, trying to hold on to the AlphaTauri team as long as they can, I think, because it will help them in the race itself in the long term. Gordo trying to chase them down, but unfortunately at the moment he's 1.8 seconds back from Jay Hings, which is too far back to, of course, get the DRS. Favre has got himself past Ginner, has he? This time into turn 3. We've got the move there for Favre. They're up into P9 then, and down the inside there, Coop and Kydell battling away as well. Kydell down to P12 then in the we got some moves up in the order then. German and Sick as Muck then. Oh, there's a bit of lag there for German. I think that might be his internet connection there trying to sort itself out. And yeah, it seems to be German lagging all over the place there, unfortunately. So hopefully he can get that sorted before we have any incident there. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what is going on there for German. He seems to be having some struggles with his internets. But there we go then. McLaren's there, P7 and P8. They're looking good indeed. Equaz there trying to hold on to Gordo. Then he's trying to get himself back up into P5 as well in the Alfa Romeo. Then can he do it? Then that is the question. The sun coming out here in Spielberg, which is nice indeed. It looks like it's going to be warming up here in Spielberg rather than getting a bit more rainy. So we've had the rain in qualifying. I think that's going to be enough for us now, and we can get back to the nice dry conditions. Liam Yeh and Reflection switching places there in towards turn 1. Reflection down the inside there. He's got the move done, I think, on the Williams driver up into P13, and down the order then Serious Mushroom and Martin switching places as well, and up into P17 there for Serious Mushroom. Good stuff indeed from him. Gino and Favre switching places as well. These two carrying on their battle. Then it's going to be a race-long battle, it seems. There is Favre now up into P9. Then has he got the DRS? Who's got the DRS? There's neither of them have got DRS, it looks like. And for some reason, they decided to push each other throughout the circuit. Then into turn 4, and Favre has the move this time. Reflection has gone for a move on Kydell there into turn 4 and got the position as well. P12 now for him. Gamer and Liam, yeah, switching places as well. Gamer, of course, trying to recover after that off in the first lap. And Jay Hings has gone off as well in sector 3. He's had a problem there with the car. He's spun the car around there. Got himself back on track now, and unfortunately losing control of the car there on the grass. They need to get on the grey stuff rather than the green stuff, and he has got himself back onto the circuit now. Good stuff indeed. But that is unfortunate for Jay Hings there. Cost him P4 as well. He was flying along very nicely indeed there. Unfortunately, that spin has cost him dearly, and now Sick as Muck, and Sick as Muck is the next challenger then for the Alpha, or the only challenger, I should say, for the AlphaTauris in this first stint, of course. But there's still plenty of laps to play out. Then we'll have to wait and see how it's going to all unfold, as there's a bit of a train forming behind this battle here. There, Ginner and Favre now are battling away. And they've lost 5 seconds there to the top 7 now. Moomin and Vessia, they are splitting off then from the rest of the pack then, and there's quite a gap forming there behind now. So let's see if Ginner can go for the move there down into turn 4 on the brakes there, very deep indeed. That he's got the move, but can Favre get the switch back here in towards turn 5? They're going to go side by side through here in towards turn 5, and Ginner's got the inside line then into sector 3, and it's close indeed. And Favre goes swooping around the outside there, gets the position back on Ginner and back up into P8 then for the Alpine driver. Good stuff indeed. A great move indeed as well. Favre and Ginner tried to take others' wing off challenge, says Tango. Yeah, I think they're just trying to push each other off the circuit at some stages, but they managed to get themselves through the corner just about unscathed, so that's all good. And hopefully they can carry on then, as they, like I said, all the battling that they've been doing has been costing them a lot of time there. Here comes Sick as Muck. Can he make a late lunge there into turn 3 on one of the Well, there's contact there on the back of Lucas Percy. I think both the AlphaTauris are trying to shut the door there on the Ferrari, but I think that I'm not sure that cost anybody a damage or anything. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed. Then in towards turn 4 we go, and down the outside then goes the Ferrari. Then can he hold the move? Then he has got the move then up into P2, and he splits the AlphaTauris and up into P2 for Sick as Muck. That is fantastic stuff indeed. Then Favre and Ginner carrying on their battle then into turn 4, and Ginner's used up a lot of ERS then to try and get himself past the Alpine, and once again they're going to be going side by side through into sector 2 and the end of sector 2 and sector 3. Then Ginner on the inside has had a bit of a squirrely moment, I think, there, and he's lost out again there to Favre there. Go around the outside is the Alpine. He's got that position covered off very nicely indeed, I think. Coop there just sitting waiting in the wings, I think, is Coop. trying to wait and see if he can make any moves on those hard compound tyres. Of course, on the hard compound tyres, the only runner on the hards as well is the Williams of Coupe there. He's going to be going longer than everybody else then in the first stint, you would imagine, and we'll have to wait and see how it's going to unfold then for Coupe as well. But at the moment, he is looking okay, and up into the top 10 as well. Then Gordo and Equaz switching places into turn 3. Gordo has lost out then to the Alfa Romeo. Then up into P4 goes Equaz. Then after waiting in the wings, then very for the last few laps or so, Liam Yer and Kydell switching places as well into turn 3. There's a lot of moves being made then into turn 3. The heavy braking zone then and the DRS there is playing into their hands as well. And now will Kydell let his teammate through as well. Got R2 beat, then is going to go down the inside of his teammate, I think, there. As they're going to be battling away. There's contact between the two Haas drivers there. That is not what you want to see. Well, not what the previous team principal would want to see anyway, but I can't remember what the name of the current team principal is now. Gunther Steiner was quite easy to remember, but there we go. Yeah, there we are. Unfortunately, like I said, Jay Hings there just trying to catch up to the back of the pack there. He's not too far off the rest of the field, though, so he could get himself back in contention. There's only 10 laps completed, or 9 laps completed really. We've got another 60 to go, I think, or something like that. And the lap times there will start tumbling down as well as the drivers there lessen the fuel load. Here we go then. Sick as Muck is trying to push his way through into P1 then on the back of Lucas Percy. Then he's got the move done, has he? He's up into P1. There is Sick as Muck. Fantastic driving indeed. There he's got himself past both AlphaTauris now and up into the lead of the Grand Prix then on lap 10. And Lucas Percy is going to want to fight back there, trying to get himself back past, but the Ferrari has got the move done. He's up into P1. He takes the lead. He keeps the lead there into the next straight as well, and into sector 2 we go as well. Fantastic stuff indeed then from Sick as Muck. Then he's got the position on the AlphaTauri drivers and up into P1 for the time being as well. Reflection and Gamer switching places as well. Now Gamer up into P11 there after recovering from that spin. He's got himself on the brink of the points again. Has the Alfa Romeo. Good stuff indeed. They're not giving up just yet then for X Gamer, I should say, for Serious Mushroom. He's still going for it as well. He's down in P15 at the moment, but he's got himself a lot of fighting to do there to get himself through the field as it stands there. Equaz now 3 seconds off the top 3. As Gino picks up the first time penalty of the evening as well. That is 3 second penalties. They're going to be very costly indeed, we would expect. Then, as opposed to towards the end of the race, those times will be added on to the penalty times will be added on to their race time at the end of the Grand Prix. So picking up lots of 3 second penalties is going to cost you lots of positions, or potentially could. But at the moment, the grid is pretty much very well in contention. To be fair, to make sure lots of positions are lost. Then, if that is the case, Gino now up into P8. They're getting himself past Parth. He's gone off the circuit there. Jenner and trying to get himself back on now, and Favre has regained the position once again. They've lost now 6.5 seconds almost to the McLarens ahead now, with all the battling that's been going on between these two in the opening 11 laps or so. It is getting spicy indeed then, and of course Jenner there has got the first penalty of the evening as well for track limit warnings. And unfortunately for Jenner, that's 3 track limits that he's extended or unfortunately cut there, so that has cost him a 3-second penalty added on to his race time at the end of the Grand Prix. But so far so good for the rest of the field. We will see how it all unfolds there. Percy picks up a penalty as well. That is the second penalty there. Percy there coming out of the final turn there has gone over the track limits again, and Favre picks up another penalty. The penalty is starting to roll in now, aren't they? So that is getting interesting stuff indeed. Here comes Lucas Percy then on the back of the Ferrari. Can he make himself the race leader once again then on lap 12? Going to go down the outside, it looks like, into turn 3. Late on the brakes as well indeed, and Sick as Muck trying to cover him off there. He has to leave the space there for the AlphaTauri driver then, and onto the curb, onto the sausage curb goes the AlphaTauri. That has cost him 2 places now. Well, it cost him 1 place because German has got himself through now, and now trying to get himself past Sick as Muck as well then onto the onto turn 4, I should say, onto lap 4. We're not just we've gone a bit further than lap 4 so far, and German now up into P2 then. I think Lucas Percy there was he didn't have anywhere to go there, did he? The Ferrari didn't leave too much space, did he, for the overtaking AlphaTauri then. And now into sector 2 again, we've got Jinner there and Favre there battling away then, and now Coop is getting interested also. Can he go around the outside this time for Favre? He's trying to hold it around the outside then. Into sector 3 we go. This is going to be close indeed. You don't usually see cars going side by side through there, but Favre has got himself through. Into the pits comes Percy, so he's called it a day on the medium compound tyres already for the AlphaTauri driver, so he's going to be making a quick strategic call, I think, here, unless there's damage there on the AlphaTauri. We'll have to wait and see. Into the box he goes. There is no front wing change. It's a strategic call then for Lucas Percy then onto the medium compound tyres. The first pit stop then of the 100% League Season 2, and it is the current, the pole sitter then from the Austrian Grand Prix, that is, onto the medium compound tyres once again. Then he's going to come out in a lot of traffic though here. Martin is going to be side by side with him here as well. This is probably not where he wants to be then, the pole sitter. He's now got to try and get himself through the field once again then on these drivers here. As we're going to go around the outside again on Martin this time. Can he get the move done? No, again there's more contact there, but he's not trying to he's trying to get himself back underway. There's a Red Bull involved in that as well. Then here comes Lucas Percy then on the back of there's a yellow flag. It's Gamer off the circuit then. He needs to just get himself back on and back underway then. But unfortunately for Gamer, we didn't see what happened there, but he's got himself back underway. Yeah, it turned 4 there. I'm not quite sure if that was just a bit of eagerness on the power or if there was a helping hand there, unfortunately, for Gamer. Unfortunately, he's had 2 spins already in this race there. It's not going too well for Gamer at this stage, but like I said, he's managed to catch up to the back of the field already then, or he did already after the first spin. Here comes Lucas Percy then on the back of Kydell. There's a Mercedes almost losing the car through there, Ginner, who has now lost out then to he was up in the range. I think it was Ginner and Gamer who must have come together, because Ginner has lost a lot of places as well. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. We'll have to wait and see after the race. Gordo and Vessia switching places as well now. Gordo there trying to get himself back up into P4. Then Equaz has got himself up into the top 3 with Lucas Percy's pit stop, and now trying to chase down the rest of the field ahead of him. And there's a dive bomb there from the McLaren, I should say, and that is Vessia then, and he's cost himself even more then by trying to get on the power a bit too early. Then that movement up into P5, then getting past his teammate as well then, and I think that was a bit of a late lunge indeed from the McLaren driver, but he did try and go for it nonetheless there. Kydell's got himself past Ginner as well. Ginner is now struggling there on those medium compound tyres. Martin has got himself past Vintage, there we go, and up into P16 as well now, and trying to chase down the 2 drivers ahead of him. Ginner there is struggling away on those medium compound tyres. I think Hungry Styles is still plugging away as well. Jay Hings has got himself into the fight once again there, and Gamer unfortunately is having a few issues down here, so I'm not quite sure what is going on for Gamer there, but he's got himself back underway and trying to get that 5-second gap down to the rest of the field there, but hopefully he can get himself back up the order. Lucas Percy sets the fastest lap of the race, and he of course is now past Kydell and onto the back of Liam Yare as well now, so trying to get himself back into the top 10. And of course, with that extra pit stop, that pit stop that he just made, he will be a lot faster than those who are on much more used tyres as well, so he will be looking to get himself through the field very quickly indeed. Reflection and Farf switching places now as well. Reflection now has taken over from Ginner in the role to battle with Farf, it looks like, after they've now lost 6 seconds to the top 6 as it stands. And it is going to be interesting stuff indeed. Right. Okay. Sorry, there was some just things going on in the Discord or something, or in the Facebook or whatever it is. But good stuff indeed. Right then, German there is trying to chase down Sikkersmuck with the gap now up to 7/10 of a second there. So Sikkersmuck is not too worried, I don't think, at the moment, of the Alpha Tower behind him. 3 seconds is the gap down to P3. Gorda there still chasing down that final podium place as it stands, because there's plenty of laps to go still. So it won't be the podium places just yet confirmed. But now into turn 1 we go then for the 16th time. Then Gorda there is on the DRS there, trying to get himself back up into P3. Moomin and Vessia chasing him down though, and trying to hold on to the back of that Mercedes and the Alfa Romeo ahead of them as well. There into turn 3 we go. No moves being made for those two, but let's have a look and see if there's going to be any moves there for Farf there into turn 3 as well. On the back of the Aston Martin of Reflection there, into turn 3 we go, and still they sit tight for the time being. Percy's got himself past Liam, sorry, and up into P10 there. Serious Mushroom's got himself up into P11 as well now, and trying to chase down Lucas Percy there. That will be a challenge indeed for Serious Mushroom, but let's see what he can do in the Ferrari. And Lucas Percy now back into the points after making the first scheduled stop then of the season as well. Good stuff indeed from Lucas Percy. They got themselves straight onto the money and back in the points paying positions on lap 16 after pitting about 3 laps ago now. So only 13 laps there for Lucas Percy on the mediums. Maybe he thinks that the 3-stop is the best option here in this race. We'll have to wait and see how he decides to operate in this one. Of course, the driver's strategy is all up to them then in this Grand Prix. They have to make the calls at the right time. They have to get on the right tyre at the right time, as is normal in F1 really. But as is commonly said in F1 as well, you have to be on the right tyres at the right time. And Lucas Percy then looks very much on the right compounded tyres at the right time there. He is chasing down Coop now on the fresh medium compound compound tyres. He is flying as well. No ERS to play with, but he's still flying indeed. And of course, the gold Season 9 champion, then he's not too shy of a fight as well. And let's see if he can get himself past the Williams of Coop. Coop, of course, on the hard compound tyres is going longer in this stint then, and he is going to be trying to fight off Lucas Percy, because, of course, if Lucas Percy has already made his pit stop, he is rightfully in his own right able to try and hold off the AlphaTauri for as long as possible then. But I think with the tyre advantage, then that will be quite difficult indeed compared to if he was on fresh tyres as well for Coop. But here we go then down into Sector 3 then. Lucas Percy trying to go around the outside here, but he can't quite hold the position. Sickers picks up a penalty. That is the 4th penalty then of the evening of the first race of the season. Lucas Percy down the inside in the penultimate corner. He's got the position. He's up into P9 and ahead now of Coop then into the final turn as well. Great stuff indeed. Indigo said, hey mate, I hope you're alright. Farth Vader says Indigo as well. Yeah, that's pretty realistic. But yeah, welcome to the stream, and thank you very much for your support as well. Always good to hear. Ted Tango as well is in the comments section. Said an incident with Jenna for Gamer, I'm hearing, says Tango. And I think that is the reason why Jenna lost out a few places, as well as Gamer as well. Gamer's now recovering. He's only 3 seconds off the back of the field then, but he was, of course, 6 seconds off the field only a few laps ago, so he's really putting the pace down. Here comes Lucas Percy on Farth and Reflection now as well. This is going to get spicy indeed, because Farth is not one to give up a place, is he? As now down the inside goes Lucas Percy on Reflection, and here comes the battle you all want to see. It's Farth against Lucas Percy, the two rivals from previous seasons of Gold, because of the admin situation, not because of racing on track. But there we go then. I can't comment too nicely about Farth. I'm just going to try and keep it PG for the time being. But now onto the back of the Alpine goes Lucas Percy, then trying to get himself through. Moving is in the pit lane. We'll come back to that, because here comes Percy then onto the final turn, and he has got the DRS now to try and make a move there on the Alpine. But will he make the move then? Because of course the DRS then will be available to Farth to try and fight back then. Moving in the pit lane. It's called it a day then on the first set of medium compound tyres. He's on to another set of mediums and dropping down the order then after sitting in the box at the moment. He's going to be dropping down towards the back of the field at the moment at this stage. Here comes Lucas Percy then on Farth, then he's powered through then up into P6 I should say, into turn 3. Then he's got the position on the Alpine and up into P6 then trying to power away now. Farth of course will have DRS, but I think he's going to be losing too much on the traction out of turn 3 to try and fight back. Then he's going to have to watch the wing mirrors of as the yellow flags for Equaz at turn 4. Yellow flags for Equaz. He's had a problem there at turn 4, the same as his teammate as well. He's got himself back underway, but unfortunately dropping down the field there from P3. He's dropped down to P9, unfortunately for Equaz. No damage there on the front wing, so hopefully he can continue without having to make an unscheduled stop there. But unfortunately for Equaz, that has cost him dearly, and now dropping down the field there for the Alfa Romeo outfit. But like I said, hopefully he can carry on then without any damage there to the car. Martin and Kydell switching places there into Sector 3. There's a McLaren of Moomin as well on fresher tyres, trying to go down the inside there. That is ambitious indeed. It's 3 wide then through Sector 3, and that is incredible stuff indeed. And I think Kydell has backed off there. Moomin's picked up another penalty for his troubles, and Kydell has backed off there, but there's still contact between the two of them. Aston Martin and McLaren battling away through the final corner, but McLaren has got the position on those fresher tyres there. But blimey, that is one hell of an ambitious move. That is where you don't want to try and do in a 3-wide overtake, especially around Austria. But they have made it stick somehow, which is absolutely fantastic. Gordo has made a pit stop, then he's pitted from the soft compound tyres to the mediums this time, so he can technically go and finish the race from here, because he's used 2 different sets of dry compound tyres. Moomin sits in behind then, and Gordo there coming out ahead of the McLaren. Then of course he was in the fight then. Moomin has lost a lot of time then through turn 3, and can that open the door for Martin and Kydell once again then coming back at him there. Here comes Kydell going through both of them then, and now into turn 4. Kydell down the inside, then he's on the brakes there very late indeed. Then Moomin has lost out then to the Haas driver, and both the Aston Martin and the McLaren have been passed by the Haas driver into Sector 2, and now Moomin has gone back down the inside there. Lovely view on board from the Aston Martin behind the two of them, but unfortunately there Kydell there, I think on the traction there, has lost out there, because of course Moomin has got a lot more power on those fresher tyres, a lot more grip and a lot more pace at this stage of the race compared to those on 20 lap old medium compound tyres. Everybody who's not pit just yet then is in a bit of a fight. Then Lucas Percy of course has pitted 8 laps ago, then he's back up into P3 now, getting himself back past Vessia, and let's see if he can get him, as he's got a 7-second gap there to the race lead. Here comes German on the outside of Sickersmuck there into turn 4, but Sickersmuck holds the inside and holds the position for the time time being as well, and keeps hold of the race lead. And now into turn 4 for Lucas Percy. Like I said, 7 seconds is the gap there to the race lead. He's already pretty much cut down that gap perfectly there to take the race lead back when the top two do pit eventually. Vessia trying to hold on to the back of the AlphaTauri driver as well. Then Jay Hings there after the incident there of having that spin is trying to battle back with Jinner as well. Now he got himself past Jinner. Here comes Gordo then on fresher tyres, and he's got himself past his teammate also. Yellow flags for who is that? Yellow flags for somebody. I'm not quite sure. Where is it? We can't tell. So there we go. But yellow flags very briefly then in Sector 2 that they have been sorted out and taken away. Gurman into the pit lane there from P2 onto a set of medium compound tyres again as well. So he's done a medium stint in the first outing here for the 100% distance league, and he has decided to call it a day then on the first set of mediums. Then he's going to come out in nice clear air as well, which unlike his teammate will be a very nice indeed then for Gurman there, because of course Lucas Percy when he did pit came out in a lot of traffic there. No traffic for Gurman. Then he's got a 2.5 second gap there to got R2B, who's yet to pit as well in P9. So that is good stuff indeed. Coop is now on the back of Farth. Then, of course, like I said earlier, Coop on the hard compound tyre is going to be going longer than those on the mediums in the first stint, and might be able to make up a few places then later on in this Grand Prix with some fresher tyres as well. Evening from Dylan as well. Dylan is in the comment section. I'm not sure who you're supporting, Dylan, but I'm guessing Coop because he's Irish as well. So you've got to support the fellow Irishman, I suppose. I'm not sure, but that is that. So there we go then. Evening from Dylan. Dylan, you remember when we got the podium last season in gold together? Of course, that was I think the first podium for Indigo then in season 9 in Austria in gold last season. So go and watch that one back if you're an Indigo fan, or in your go, says Serious Mushroom. Serious Mushroom, speaking of him, is in the pit lane there. He's called it a day then on the medium compound tyres as well, almost on the grass as well, trying to get in the pit lane, but he slowed it down just in time. And now dropping down the order, but of course he's going to be onto a fresh set of boots then for the Ferrari team, and let's see what he's going to go on to. He's going to go another set of medium compound tyres, so that is going to be an interesting strategy call indeed. I think a lot of drivers there opting, there's a McLaren flying off the circuit there. There's a lot of drivers there opting for the default strategy, I think, which is the medium soft, so you might see a few drivers then around lap 50 or so pit onto the soft compound tyres and go to the end from there. We'll have to wait and see. Of course the cars will be a lot lighter at that stage, the fuel loads will be a lot less, so they'll be able to try and get some more power, some more speed in those cars on the soft set of compounds. And oh my god, they're into turn 4, and Jenner comes across Moomin there and cuts off the McLaren there, and there's contact between the two of them then, and I think Moomin there on the fresher tyres there is really struggling to try and get himself past these drivers there, and there seems to be a lot of weaving going on between the two of them as well. Jenner there losing out there to the McLaren. I think he just let him through in the end there, because I'm not quite sure what was going on to turn 4 there, but Jenner now is dropping down to P13 there after the stops then for the other drivers around him as well. Penalties rolling in as well. We're on lap 24 of 71. Blimey, I haven't said that in a long time. I've only said that about 2 seasons ago, to be fair. But 24 of 71, and we have got what is that? 50 something? No, it's less than 50. Thankfully, it's 45 or so laps to go. Into the pits comes Kydell and Styles. Then they've called it a day there on their first set of medium compound tyres. We'll see what they go on to now. Styles there dropping down to the back of the field along with Kydell. Then after their stops there, but onto a fresh set of mediums for Styles there. Hard compound tyres for Kydell. Is he going to try and do a one stop around here and try and get to the end on those hard compound? We'll find out as well. Of course, there's plenty of laps to go, but we'll have to wait and see if that is going to be the best strategy then for the Haas driver. Now in the lead is a Sickers Muck then. 2.7 seconds is the gap then to Lucas Percy. Lucas Percy has of course pitted, but Sickers Muck has not, and he's staying out again there on to lap 25 is the Ferrari driver. Vessia yet to pit as well. Reflection and Farth the same. Coop, of course, on the hard compound tyres, started on the hards, is staying out for now. Into the pits comes Reflection there from P5 on the grid. They're slowing the car down in time for the pit entry, and he's got the car slowed down just in time as well. Good stuff indeed. Into the pits as well comes Beat as well from P8, I think it was, and now boxing then off the medium compounds as well. Onto new mediums goes Reflection, so that just affirms my suspicions that it's going to be a 2-stop then for those that are going from the mediums to the mediums again. they will be doing a medium soft stint or strategy, I suppose you could say, throughout this Grand Prix. Gamer there is back up into P13 now, of course yet to pit as well, but he's got himself back in the fight now after those 2 spins earlier on in the race there. Moomin is all over the back of Jay Hings now with the fresher medium compound tyres. Can he make a move there on the Alpine for P9 down towards turn 4? We saw the antics there between the Mercedes and the McLaren into turn 4, and this time, oh, it's close indeed, but this time it's a lot more gentlemanly, I suppose you could say, and Moomin has got himself past the Alpine there. Not too much to fight for really on the older medium compound tyres. As into the pits comes the race leader of Sick as Muck then, from the old medium compound tyres to the new, and he is going to be back out once again. Then Vessia stays out on the old medium, so does Farf as well. Then Coop, of course, in the fight now. He's up into P4, is the Williams driver. They're staying at it on the medium compound, on the hard compound tyres, I should say. Equaz now up into P6 then, after removing Sick as Muck there. He's lost out a lot of places actually. Removing Sick as Muck then as the previous race leader. He's been undercut then by German, by Equaz, well not by Equaz, sorry, because Equaz he had to pit there, but Gordo has undercut him by 6 laps there. Moomin Ninja is 5 seconds behind the former race leader as well, but of course on the fresher tyres, that's all going to come down to tyre life in the end of the Grand Prix then. Coop there up into P3, getting past Vessia now, and German is in the fight as well. German, of course, on fresher medium compound tyres, is back up into P4 and trying to go around the outside of Coop as well into sector 2, and no, he's not been able to make the move just yet, but he's going to be all over the back there of the Williams there on those hard compound tyres. I think those mediums are flying at this stage there, the fresh mediums there. Up into P3 he goes, and Coop, I think, has got to yield here into the penultimate turn there. He has done as well. Coop picks up a penalty then, going a bit too wide there into turn 9, and now onto the main straight we go then. But German there is trying to get himself back up into P2, and now Farf stands in his way into turn 1 we go then, and he's going to have to sit behind for one more corner, I think, but I think that's going to be it for now, because now on to the next straight there. More DRS available then for the AlphaTauri as we go up to turn 3 this time, and I think he's going to be able to get himself up into P2 as well there around the outside of Farf. Farf has yielded the position there to the AlphaTauri. Of course, the freshness of tyres is a big factor in that move as well. On the traction out of turn 3, you can see the Alpine there is just not able to compete there with the AlphaTauri as they get the power down on the fresher tyres as well. They're into turn 4 we go there. Farf stays P3 for the time being there. Gordo and Equaz resuming their battle from the earlier stages of this Grand Prix now. Back into P6 goes Gordo, and these two, of course, Equaz yet to pit as well. So I'm not quite sure what the strategy is then for the Alfa Romeo driver. We'll have to wait and see. But he seems to be struggling out there at this stage on the older medium compound tyres. So he's now in a fight with people who have already made a pit stop as well. So that is going to be dangerous stuff indeed. Here comes Sick as Muck. Can he make a move into the penultimate corner? Not quite. Oh, it's dangerous indeed, because that Alfa Romeo then is much slower than the Ferrari, of course, and now trying to make any moves there into the final turn there onto the main straight we go there to start off lap 28 there for Sick as Muck there, and he's got himself past the Alfa Romeo and up into P7 now. Good stuff indeed. Oh, blimey. We're not even halfway through yet. So this has been epic, to be fair. It's been a lot of good racing to watch and a lot of good racing to commentate on as well. But now Sick as Muck trying to get himself into P6 there, onto the back now of the Mercedes of Gordo. Of course, Gordo did pit a lot earlier than Sick as Muck there. He did get the undercut, but now Sick as Muck is back in the fight as all the Alpine of Farf trying to turn into the Williams there, it looked like. So he's now lost out to P3 of Coop, and now Sick as Muck has got himself past the Mercedes of Gordo as well. Up into P6 now is Sick as Muck trying to get himself back into the contention of the race lead. Reflection getting himself past Jay Hings there. Jay Hings yet to pit either, so there's still a lot of drivers out there. Both the Alfa Romeos haven't pit yet. Farf hasn't pit, and same for Coop as well. So there's a lot of drivers there struggling on there on the old tyres that they started this Grand Prix on. They're almost at lap 30 at this stage, and I think they will be getting a bit too tired, literally. Pardon the pun. At this stage of the Grand Prix. Now Sick as Muck sets the fastest lap of the race, then he's trying to set his sights there on Vessia, on Farf and Coop then, who are all in this battle right ahead of him now, and he's going to have to try and get himself through as quickly as possible. Then into the pits comes Equaz there. He's called it a day then, finally on the medium compound tyres onto a set of hard compounds there for the Alfa Romeo driver, I think. Oh, as Equaz, as Gex Gamer has pitted as well then. I'm not quite sure there's going to be a double stacking issue here, and there probably will be, because it usually is as well in Codemasters games, but they have sorted themselves out quickly enough, and onto a set of soft compound tyres there for Gamer. So that is interesting stuff indeed there. Can he get himself back in the fight then on those soft compounds? and we'll have to wait and see where he comes out as well. I think he's going to be down the field, unfortunately for X-Gamer, but he's going to get himself a lot of pace there on those soft compound tyres compared to those around him on mediums and hards. So that is not all doom and gloom just yet then. 7 seconds is the gap there between Lucas Percy and German. German on slightly different alternate strategies than these two, as Lucas Percy pit 10 laps earlier than German did as well, as Favre still carries on, Coop still carries on, Vessier still carries on, and Sickers Muck, of course, is still carrying on as well, because he's on a fresh set of tyres there. Gordo is in the fight as well, but he can't quite make a move just yet. Then is Sickers Muck going to go for a lunge down the inside into turn 1? He is going to go for a lunge there. He's got the move done, I think, there. Vessier there is off the circuit, or slightly off the circuit. He managed to get himself... managed to stay on the circuit, I think, but on the curbs. And now Coop there trying to get himself past Farf and back up into P3. There is Coop. Sickers Muck lunging down the inside there, and I think that unsettled the Alpine as well on the traction. This time Sickers Muck has got himself through up into P4, and now trying to chase down Coop then for that P3 position there in the final podium place. Then it was deep on the brakes then. I thought he was going to go in the back of the Williams there, but he's managed to hold on. And now with the traction as well there on the medium compound tyres, he's got himself alongside. Can he get himself past the Williams this time into P3? They're back onto the podium then for Sickers Muck. Then he's done it and up into P3. Great stuff indeed. Jay Hinks has been passed then by Serious Smash, and Jay Hinks still holding it out there on the old medium compound tyres, same as Favre, same as Vessier. I'm not quite sure what the strategy is then for these guys. Cooper's coming in to the pit lane, it looks like, so he has decided to call it a day then on the hard compound tyres already. So I'm not quite sure how it's going to unfold for Coop then. We'll have to wait and see, but he is pitting earlier than some on the medium compound tyres, to be fair, so we'll have to wait and see if that's going to be the best strategy call overall. But we will find out, of course, in about 40 laps time when we get to the checkered flag. Coop then into the box, then onto the medium compound tyres. So he's going to be switching off the slower hard compound to the fresher and faster medium as well. There we go then. Favre there and Gordo switching places there. Favre now ahead of the Mercedes driver somehow, even though he's on the older tyres. And Gordo, I think, is going to be looking to fight back very quickly indeed with the DRS down towards turn 4. This time he's got the move done, I think, down the inside there into P4. Once again goes the Mercedes there. Gamer sets the fastest lap of the race then on the soft compound tyres. He's trying to get himself back in the fight. Then he's got a 1.5 second gap there to Kydell, but then he's got a bit more of a gap there to Vintage and to Jinner as well. So we'll have to wait and see who is going to come out on top on that one. Favre there is going to be closest still to Gordo at this stage, but I think at some point those tyres might go pop, to be fair, for the Alpine. And Vessier is staying out as well. Vessier carries on, but Favre is going to call it a day then on those mediums. Now into the box there for the Alpine driver, calling it a day then. Jay Hinks gets a 3-second penalty, unfortunately for Jay Hinks there. He's having a bit of a troubled time out there at this stage, but hopefully it will come back to him in the rest of this race. Like I said, still a long way to go then. Liam Yare picks up a penalty as well there, going through the final couple of corners right behind Jay Hinks. Both of these drivers picking up penalties as they go through. Favre onto the soft compound tyres then, so that is interesting stuff indeed. We'll have to wait and see how quickly he's going to be going on those soft compound tyres and how quickly they're going to die out as well. We saw the soft compound last for Gordo about 20 laps or so, so potentially we could see them go to around lap 50 or so and go for another set of softs. We'll have to wait and see if that is the optimum strategy call. We'll have to find out. Now on the back of Equaz there, Equaz of course is pitted for the hard compound tyres. I would expect Equaz potentially going to the end of the Grand Prix from here. The same potentially for Jinner and for Kydell. We'll have to find out, and we'll also have to find out which strategy is going to be the best call, because there's going to be all sorts of strategies all over the place here. Favre there on the soft compound having no contest, I don't think, to try and get himself past Equaz there on the fresher tyres as well. It's calming down slightly in this race. We're about halfway through, and it's been spicy for the first 33 laps then. Of course, this is coming up to the 50% distance, the sort of distance that the drivers are used to racing. 33 or 36 laps, I think, is the 50% distance, isn't it? So we're coming up to the 50% distance mark. Onto the softs goes Vessier. Kydell picks up a penalty as well. Into the pits comes Favre. No, it's not Favre, it's Jay Hinks there. Jay Hinks there on the older medium compound tyres, the oldest medium compound tyres of the grid. Has called it a day there finally on mediums, now onto a set of hard compound tyres. And Coop has got himself past Beat there up into P9 then, and now trying to chase down his teammate of Liam Yare. Do you find it difficult to, or easy to commentate on 100%? I find it difficult to commentate on a 5-lapper, I think, to be fair, but I've got to do my best. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Indigo in the comment section there. So, well, to be fair, this race has been pretty entertaining, so it's made it easy for me. But I think I'll be having a nice little lie down after the Grand Prix, put it that way, to try and recover for next week, that is, because, of course, next week is in Spain then for the 100% League, and we might have some chopping and changing going on, but we'll have to wait and see how that's going to unfold as well, because of course Spain, the 100% calendar is a one week ahead of the normal calendar for gold, silver and bronze. It is done by design, if you hadn't thought of that already, but yeah, it was to hopefully get some interest in practicing for the next race there for the division drivers as well. So everyone is welcome in the 100% League. There is no animosity at all. You can just go as slow as you want and fast as you want, but that's, of course, with being at Run realistically, then we try and put you in the right car. I think we've not done too bad a shout. I thought we've put the two gold champions then, Lucas Percy and German, there in the AlphaTauri, because it is the slowest car according to the realistic performance charts on the game. But it hasn't really held them back too much, unfortunately. So we'll have to try and think of another way to do that. But yeah, realistically, literally, I think we've done a pretty decent job so far of getting people in this sort of the right team. Moomin picks up another penalty then, but of course, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, then that is subject to change. Then, of course, if we need to move people around a few positions here and there, we will do in different cars, that sort of thing. Lucas Percy back in the pit lane from the lead of the Grand Prix, then onto the soft compound tyres. So he's decided to call it today. Then he's done medium so far, and now medium soft for the current gold champion. Then, and he's decided to come out on. He's come out on P4. They're just ahead of Reflection now, so just in a bit of a clean air as well, which is ideal, I suppose you could say, for the gold champion. And looking good indeed then on the soft compound tyres. A few drivers now switching up the strategies, I think, there, because of course the good thing about the 100% races as well is you can adapt your strategy on the fly. There's a lot more room for manoeuvrability on the strategy side of things compared to a 50% race as well. So if you are on a strategy that you decide is not the right strategy and you don't like it anymore, and a few laps in sort of thing, you can of course change that quite easily there and get yourself back in the race, back on the pace in the race after the first few laps there, because there's plenty of laps then to of course change things up as well. Coop and Liam, switching places. Here comes Favre. They're down the inside of Liam as well. He's got the move up into P9 and he's got himself past the Williams, and now trying to chase down Coop as well. Of course, Coop and Favre, they're pitted a lot less laps ago compared to Liam Yeh. Then as Liam Yeh is coming in the pit lane there, so he's called it a day then already on those medium compound tyres. I'm not sure if there's damage then for Liam Yeh, which is a bit of a shame. Then hopefully he can get that sorted. Equaz there coming through in P12. And Favre has got himself past Coop, then up into P8 then. But Coop, of course, is going to have the DRS there down to fight back up the hill towards turn 3. And Coop there coming straight back at Favre then into turn 3 as well. Got the move back again on the Alpine and back up into P8, I should say. Liam Yeh is onto the soft compound tyres. So I think he's, like I was just saying, he's switching up the strategy then for Liam Yeh and going onto the soft compound tyre there to see what he can do on the faster tyre or faster compound at this stage of the race. Moomin and Serious Mushroom battling away then. Serious Mushroom now up into P6. They're getting himself past Moomin on the tyre life. It's going to be in Serious Mushroom's favour there by 4 laps. But at the moment, he is looking good indeed. Both the Ferraris there actually looking very strong indeed at this stage of the Grand Prix. So there we go then. Tango has said I can see about lap 40 being key if anybody tries to do the free stop. At the moment, Lucas Percy there on the fastest lap there. He's already done 2 stops, so he's going to have to do another one. If that is going to be the case, then I think he will have to come in. And Tango is saying approximately lap 40, maybe around lap 40 to lap 55 then for Tango. So somewhere in that window then is where the next few stops will be, which is coming up in just a few laps as well, to be fair. Indigo said, I haven't raced 100% league for a long time and I get exhausted after 50. Well, that's when I started doing 100% leagues, actually, was because of that, is literally to just train your skills, really. A lot of people will probably sort of laugh at that, but it's really helpful for me personally in the 100% league. That I raced in that for a couple of seasons then, and it helped me in the 50% races as well, because there was obviously your sort of concentration, your focus is a lot more after doing the 100% races then, and it helps you in the in the 50% races as well, in my opinion anyway. But that is just my mumbling opinion anyway. But there we go. I think it helped Jenner in the first 100% league, because he did say in the reason why he won bronze season 5 was because he was in the 100% league at the time as well, and that was really helping hone his skills, then practicing for the next upcoming Grand Prix in bronze, and then making sure he can get himself a bit more focused, a bit more tuned in the setup then for the race coming up in the bronze division as well. So hopefully that will be the case there this season for some of the drivers as well. That is the idea anyway. But there we go. Sometimes we think some of this out. There's some thought that goes into it from the admin point of view. We try our best, but obviously sometimes we get things horribly wrong. But there we go. Gordo now has been passed by Reflection. I think Gordo's got himself a bit of a challenge on, trying to get himself back past the Aston Martin there. Reflection doing a great job actually after starting down the order then at the beginning of this race, but he's now got himself up into P4 and looking strong indeed. Farf and Moomin switching places now as Farf now up into P7, chasing down Serious Mushroom there on those soft compound tyres, and of course the softs will be in a very optimum stage right now, only 6 laps into their stint, and getting past the McLaren now of Moomin. And now trying to chase down Serious Mushroom as well. Then Serious Mushroom has actually been passed by Favre already before we get to the penultimate turn then, as Favre going a bit wide there. That will be a warning indeed for Favre. That's 2 warnings for Favre, and that is a penalty for Favre as well. There's a nice little commentator's curse there on that one as well, so perfect stuff indeed, perfect timing indeed for that one. Coupe there trying to get himself past the McLaren now up into turn 1, and he's got himself going to go side by side through there, and that is definitely not what you want to do. Moomin there has to back out then, I think, and very wisely backs out as well. 20 laps there for the medium compound tyres on the McLaren, only 8 laps there for the Williams medium compound tyres, and there we go. Right then, Coupe there is now trying to chase down Serious Mushroom. Serious Mushroom trying to hold on to Farf though, but Farf on those soft compound tyres I'd expect would start to pull away in the next few corners or so. On to lap 39, Vessier has got himself back up into the points paying positions, now getting himself past Kydell and up into P10 now for the other McLaren. So both the McLarens now into the top 10 and looking good indeed there, but beat there is it's Beat. He got past, not Kydell. Kydell is still on the hard compound tyres there. He's not having a great race down there, unfortunately, in the Haas. But we'll have to wait and see if he can get to the end of the Grand Prix. Of course, that might come back to his favour there on those hard compound tyres if he is going to the end of the race. But Beat there, just dropping outside the top 10 now, is trying to hold on to the back of that McLaren. I think that will help him pull himself along then if he can hold on to the DRS range there. Cooper's got himself past Serious Mushroom now up into P7. Serious Mushroom, of course, no penalties then for the Ferrari driver. He is one of few. German, Gordo, Serious Mushroom, Vessier, Beat, Equaz and Vintage, as Hungry Styles and Martin there. No penalties for those drivers then, so there's penalties start to add up then. Of course they will be added onto their race time at the end of the Grand Prix, at the end of lap 71, and that will of course impact their race finish if they are only a few attempts or so away from the drivers around them as well. So that might come back to those who without any penalties, keeping it clean, even though it may be a bit slower than over the whole lap. It might be the faster way to do the race. So that is how I think Serious Mushroom is trying to find it anyway as well. Sick as muck now with the extra pace then on those medium compound tyres. He's almost got himself back into DRS range there of German, the race leader, and that is looking good indeed for Serious Sick as muck, I should say. It's looking good for Serious Mushroom as well, I should say. But both the Ferraris there looking good. Both the AlphaTauris then in the high precedent as well. Then Lucas Percy there is dropping off. Well, not dropped off slightly, but he's of course made that extra stop there compared to the top two. So he's getting himself back into range now, and potentially could be within striking distance in the next couple of laps or so. Lap 41 of 71, 30 laps to go here, and this is when Tango said that the pit window might be opening then for the likes of Gordo, potentially the likes of Moomin Ninja, and potentially some others as well on the medium compound tyres. We'll have to wait and see. German might have to make a stop very soon as well. We'll have to find out when he's going to call it a day then on those the second set of medium compound tyres for the other AlphaTauri driver. Right then, it is getting spicy down here as well. Between the McLarens then into turn 4, and the McLarens have switched places then. I think there's a bit of team orders involved in that. Zach Brown will be on the phone for that one. But Vessier then has switched places with his teammate Moomin then, of course, on the fresher tyres as well. The much faster tyres on the soft compound as well. Trying to put the pressure on Serious Mushroom now to try and get himself up into P8 then. Moomin can try and follow through. as well. Get himself past the Ferrari also, but at the moment he has to sit tight. Gordo is in the pit lane then, so Gordo is following the heat there from Tango. Then in the comment section, he's decided to call it a day then on the 22 lap old medium compound tyres. He's gone for a set of soft compound tyres though, so that is going to be one hell of a stint indeed if he can get those to the end of the Grand Prix. That will be interesting stuff indeed. Then he's going to come out behind his teammate then of Ginner. But ahead there of Gamer as it stands at the moment there, so good stuff indeed then, and very good work indeed there from the Mercedes garage. Then he's got himself back out in fresh air as well, Serious Mushroom and Vessier then switching places there into turn 3, and now Vessier up into P7 as well, now past the Ferrari driver and now into a bit of a sandwich here. Yellow flags in sector 1. What's happened here? It's Kydell off at turn 1, and Jay Hings picks up another penalty unfortunately for Kydell. He is off the circuit at turn 1, and he's got himself back underway, but he's lost out then down to the back of the field then unfortunately for Kydell. He's really struggling out there. Lucas Percy has passed Sick as Muck then for P2 and back up into the front echelons of the grid now. He's now also within DRS range of his teammate of German now, so this is going to be an attempt there for the race lead very soon I think for Lucas Percy. He is going to be trying to challenge there his teammate and of course the Ferrari of Sick as Muck then for the race lead, and Sick as Muck then is going to try and hold on once again then to the back of the two AlphaTauris, and I think this is a bit more of a roles reverse, but a bit more of a deja vu of the opening laps. There's Sick as Muck there was all over the back of both these two at the opening stages as well. Coop there on to Farf, now up into P5 there for Coop. Great stuff indeed for Coop as well, and up into the higher position as well for P5 now for the Williams driver, looking good indeed after starting on the hard compound tyres. He is switched onto the mediums and now looking strong here in the Austrian Grand Prix. Down the field, we've got some more moves being made. It's Liam Yare, I think. No, it's Liam Yare and Jay Hings, isn't it? Yeah, into P15, sorry, for Liam Yare. Good stuff indeed, making up his way as it stands there. Drivers will have to weigh up the pit loss for an extra stop, says Tango in the comment section, or pace loss by staying out, and that will be mid-50s to fit the softs, says Tango as well. Oh, as Gamer has retired there on the track as well. Is that what's happened there to Gamer? There's a Red Bull going through there. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Gamer then as well. He's where is he? Gamer is off the circuit and there's no safety car or anything like that. It is on. I promise it's on, but Gamer has had a problem then as into the pits comes movement as well. Gordo sets the fastest lap of the race then. He's going to be going great guns indeed on those soft compound tyres, especially if Tango is right. He has to pit again around lap 55 or so. Then Gordo is going to have to be going at considerable pace indeed to try and make up the time loss, of course, as Tango has said in the comment section of the pit stop phase as well. But now up into the points paying positions is Gordo trying to chase down Ekpaz for that P9 position. Come back to the front then, because out in the front there's a lot of battling going on, and actually I've missed it completely, but German has been overtaken by his teammate there for P2, or P1 actually. The race leader now is Lucas Percy. He has taken back the Grand Prix lead once again, where he of course started the race here 45 laps ago. Then he's taken back the Grand Prix lead, and of course with the extra grip and the extra speed on those soft compound tyres, will try and pull away from his teammate who's now on 23 lap old medium compound tyres. Sick as Muck will have something to say about that as well, and try and get himself into the fight then, get himself past the Ferrari if he can, or past the AlphaTauri if he can as well. But at the moment it's all status quo. Farf and Coop retaining their battle then, as Vessier now under pressure from Serious Mushroom there. Serious Mushroom trying to fight back, I think, waiting for that optimum pit window, as Tango has said in the comment section, waiting for that pit window to open. Serious Mushroom has got, not Serious Mushroom, Sick as Muck has got himself past German around the outside of turn 4. Can he hold the position though? That is the question there. He's got the inside now for turn 5. Can he hold on to it? There's a bit of a tap there from the AlphaTauri, but he's got the move done. Has Sick as Muck there up into P2, and there is taking the position away from the AlphaTauri driver, splitting the two AlphaTauris now back into P2 for Sick as Muck then. But, of course, like we were expecting, there is still pit stops to come then for the Ferrari and for the AlphaTauri of German as well. Lucas Percy, sorry, can get to the end of the race, but I'm not quite sure. Legally, he can get to the end of the race, but I'm not quite sure his tyres will make it to the end of the race as well. We'll have to wait and see, but we will find that out in the next few laps or so. 25 laps remaining here, and that is good news indeed, because my throat is starting to dry up. But there we go then. Coop now is behind Farf there, and if they have switched places there into Sector 2. Serious Mushroom still on the back here of Vessia, but now Gordo has joined the fray as well in P9 on the soft compound tyres. And like I said, he's going quickly indeed, is Gordo, and now trying to put the pressure on here on the Alfa Romeo. On the Ferrari and the McLaren ahead. The Alfa Romeo is on my mind because Equaz there is into P10. He's got himself back into the points pen positions now as well. Gordo is now trying to get himself up into P7, I should say, if he can get himself past these two. Farf and Coop switching places again there through turn 3, and this time the Williams has got himself through, I think. Yes, he has done. Very good stuff indeed. And now Serious Mushroom and Gordo. Here comes Gordo. He's flying, isn't he? Look at him go on the power, then down the inside into turn 4. Can he make the move then on Serious Mushroom? He has done as well, and he's got the position done. Serious Mushroom, not Serious Mushroom, Style, sorry, has picked up a penalty then for track limits, I think. But he's got himself, he's still carrying on there. His Styles, good stuff indeed. My headset is about to fall off as well. Bear me 1 second. And we are back on the head. Good stuff indeed there. Gordo's got himself past Mushroom now. He's going to try and target Vessia there for the next position there. And of course, Vessia is on 13 lap old, or soon to be 14 lap old soft compound tyres. So they will start to be, well, I think they'll be probably wearing out at this stage of the Grand Prix by now. But we'll have to wait and see when he's going to be calling it a day on those soft compound tyres as well. Here comes Gordo then all over the back there into turn 1, but he's not made any moves yet. He's decided to stick behind for the time being, because now he's got another dose of DRS there down towards, or up towards turn 3, as here we go then for the Mercedes driver up into P7. He's got the move done there. There's moves ahead as well as Farf and Coop. They're off the circuit there for the Alpine, and Coop is really putting the elbows out as well. I think Farf is probably returning the favour, as he usually does there, but Gordo's got himself past Vessia now up into P7 now, and chasing down this pair ahead of him as well. Then they're on much older tyres, are the Alpine of Farf there, and Coop in P5 and P5 as well. Gordo there on much fresher soft compound, so he's only got 3 seconds to make up on these two, and if they're going to carry on fighting as well, that's going to cost him a bit more time there, and maybe work in Gordo's favour as well. We'll have to wait and see. Beat there all over the back of Jinner now. Jinner's got himself back up into P11 there after a few struggles in the first half of this race, but he's got himself back in the fight, I should say, not the fright, but he's got himself back in the fight then to try and get himself some points at the end of this Grand Prix. Like I said, still 23 laps to go here. Moomin and Vintage switching places there. Moomin around the outside into Sector 3 we go now, as the McLaren driver is pit for soft compound tyres, and to try and see where he can get to in this race. Beat there on the back of the Mercedes of Jinner there, but we'll come back to that battle here. Vessia trying to hold on now to Gordo there. Gordo is flying. He's now 2.3 seconds behind Farf and Coop, and it was 3.1 at the previous lap as well, so those soft compound tyres are really working in his favour now. Farf, I think, on those softs are probably struggling at this stage there. He's almost lost out the DRS range of Coop, who is on 17 lap old medium compound tyres, so there's still a lot to play for, I think, here between the two, between the 19 drivers, to be fair, who are all on the circuit still. Unfortunately for Gamer, he's out of the race. I'm not quite sure what happened to Gamer there as well. He seemed to have some sort of issue there. I think he said he had a wheel disconnect there, and now he's trying to get himself back in, but unfortunately his car is no longer in the Grand Prix. 19 drivers remain then in this race there. We've got almost 50 laps completed then in the Austrian Grand Prix. There is still 22 laps to go here, and we've got to wait and see who is going to come out on top then. At the moment, it looks like Lucas Percy, but we do expect him to make another stop very soon. The same for Sick as Muck there, and for German as well, and potentially for Reflection and Coop, and for quite a few drivers, to be fair. We'll have to look at the rain clouds, though, because I think it's got a bit cloudy here in Spielberg as well. Is there going to be some rain to affect the end of this Grand Prix? That is going to be spicy indeed. Well, not very spicy, it's going to be quite wet, but it'll be spicy indeed then to end off the Grand Prix in the wet conditions. And we saw the wet conditions in qualifying for the very first rain-affected race we've had in ALR this season, or this year in 2024. We had the first rainy session, didn't we, in the qualifying here in the Austrian Grand Prix, and like I said, it does rain a bit often in Styria. We'll have to find out if that's going to be the case then at the end of this race as well. But like I said, it did start off a bit gloomy. It got a bit sunnier now. It's warmed up, and now as we got onto lap 50, then it looks like the clouds have come back in now, so it could be a case of rain on the horizon here, which would be very effectual in this race if it does start to fall towards the end of the Grand Prix. Blimey, that would be one hell of a Grand Prix ending, I think, as well. So we're going to play a bit of a factor in that, in the results on this one. If it does start to rain once again, then now Gordo has got himself all over the back of Farf here and trying to make a move there into turn 1 there. Not quite then for the Mercedes driver. He sits behind for the time being. And now we've got another battle on them. These three are going to be fighting then for P5 as it stands there. No penalties there for Gordo there, but there's penalties for the two ahead. Here comes Farf down the outside of turn one. We've got a great view here from the Mercedes driver behind, and now trying to make a switch back there on the two of them there, but now into the next straight then, and Farf stays behind, but there's no DR. Where's the DRS then for Farf? Then he has got DRS, I think. Maybe it's just a glitch. They're not opening up. And now Gordo trying to go down the inside of the Williams of Coupe there into turn four. He's got the move done. I think their Coupe there has to yield there to the Mercedes, and now the Mercedes of Gordo there is the next one to try and fight there with Farf, and down the inside into sector 2 we go. He's got the move, does he? No, not quite. Farf holds around the outside very nicely indeed, and into sector 3 we go then. Gordo has to sit behind for the time being then. I don't think there's any opportunity unless he wants to send it down the inside into this final couple of quarters there, but that would be very risky indeed then for himself and his front wing, but he has to sit behind then at this stage. The clouds really coming in at a very rapid rate here. I think it might be getting a bit wet towards the end of this Grand Prix. We'll have to wait and see. Then they've got 20 laps to go now, as we have started lap 51 of 71 now, and if the rain does start to fall, then that could get very interesting stuff indeed. As here comes Gordo making a move there on Farf. They're up into turn 3 and up into P5 there for the Mercedes driver. Great stuff indeed, and he's got the move done. Farf of course will battle back then with the DRS, but I think again, like I said, the tyre are different. The tyre wear is not in his favour anymore, unfortunately, for the Alpine driver. Tango said no rain for the time being then, but trust Mark with your peril as well. Yeah, I think you can count on that one, especially around Austria as well. I've had plenty of races as Ginner and Gott R2 Beat are battling away there for that P9 position there. Ginner now up into P9, getting past the Haas driver for the time being. Yes, he has got the move done there this time. Up into sector 2 we go, and Ginner now up into P9, back up into the points paying positions as well. Very nice indeed for the Mercedes drivers, both of them in the points paying positions as it stands as well. Great stuff from those two. Yeah, Tango saying trust Mark with your peril there. Is there going to be a pit stop here for Ginner there? Ginner is coming into the box. It looks like, yeah, he's calling it a day there on the hard compound tyres. So maybe he thinks that he can get to the end on the softs potentially, if it doesn't rain, that is. But yeah, Tango is saying there, trust Mark with your peril. You definitely have to trust Mark with your peril, because he will just say it's not going to rain at all, and then it will start pouring with rain, as you probably know then for all you veterans drivers. But like I said, it's doesn't look like it's going to be a very dry end to this race, unfortunately. Because like I said, I probably prefer it to be nice and dry. But there we go then. It looks like the rain clouds are forming then over the Styrian mountains here, and it could potentially start to pour. Sick as muck then into the box. Then he's calling it a day then on the medium compact tyres before German has as well. German stays out there. 31 laps there for German on his mediums, but 27 laps there for Sick as muck. They're calling it a day then already then into the pits. Then Reflection is also following him in as well, so they're going to be making a nice little stop here before we can they get themselves back underway. There's soft compound tyres there for the Ferrari of Sick as muck, so he should be able to get to the end from here, I would imagine. We will find out. He's going to come back out. I think he's going to come back out in P3 as well, so he's got a lot of clean air in front of him. Just the Alpha Tower is right ahead after making the stops there. So he's got a lot of good clean air to try and race into now as well. Out of the pits comes Reflection. He's going to be ahead of Beat there in P8. Then he's got a nice gap as well then to Vessia ahead as well. There's lots of changes still to be made, I think. There, Liam, yeah, back up into the points paying positions now ahead of Jay Hings, and looking good indeed. Then is Liam, yeah, great stuff indeed. Serious Mushroom there has of course just pitted a few laps ago then onto a fresh set of boots as well, and is looking to put the pace down now as well. Serious Hungry Styles also into the box there for some soft compound tyres too. So is Martin as well then. So that is good stuff indeed. Then I think we're on the cards then to for what Tango was saying earlier in the comment section around lap 50 to lap 55. Boxing then for the set of soft compound tyres to get to the end of the Grand Prix from here. Lucas Percy's in the pit then. He has pitted for the softs as well. So that is covering off Sick as Muck as well, I think, because Sick as Muck is coming around the final corner now then to start off his lap 55 as well. Lift 54, I should say. German there stays out then. He's still sticking it out there. Is German there, maybe trying to get to the end of the Grand Prix on these tyres, but only a 9-second gap there to his rival and teammate of Lucas Percy. Then I think that will be undone very quickly on those soft compounds, as Sick as Muck now 5 seconds behind Lucas Percy then. So technically the net race leader is Lucas Percy at this stage, but we will have to wait and see how it's going to unfold for them as well. Right then, down the field we've still got some action. There's Gino set the fastest lap of the race then on the soft compound tyres, getting himself past Beat then, who's boxed there for another set of softs as well. Vintage also in the box then, so everybody's switching on to the soft compound, well, the majority switching on to the soft compound at this stage of the Grand Prix here. Beat there onto the soft, same for Vintage as well then. We've just got 4 runners left on a different compound tyre. Here comes Jay Hings there on the back of Liam, but he can't quite make the move there, unfortunately, for the Alpine driver. He has to sit behind once again. But he is one of the drivers now on the hard compound tyres. Same for Kydell there down in P18. And then we've got Coop on 23 lap-old mediums in P5 and 33 lap-old mediums for German in P1 at the moment. Into the pits comes Gordo. He's called it a day, 12 laps on the soft compound tyres. Coop is also in the pits, same as Farf as well then. So they're all calling it now. Vessia comes in, I should say. Reflection is going to gain on all of these drivers then back up into P4, I think, which is going to be great news indeed for Vessia. And so not for Vessia, for Reflection, I should say. And now up into P4 goes the Aston Martin driver, looking good indeed then for Reflection. Fantastic stuff indeed, and fantastic drive indeed as well. Liam Yeh stays up. He's up into P5 then, ahead of his teammate now as well, up into the higher points pairing positions as well. Gordo comes out in P7, Moomin in P8 now. He's splitting those who have just made a pit stop as well. Moomin, I think, might have to make a stop as well at some point in this Grand Prix. He is going to have a bit of trouble trying to get to the end of this Grand Prix on those older soft compound tyres. He's got 11 laps already. He's got to do another 15, which would take him up to 25-ish or 26-ish. I can't do the maths. So there we go. Sorry about that. Serious Mushroom now is on the brink of the points, and technically I think is in the points already with the penalties for the drivers ahead of him. If he can keep it penalty free, he could get himself into the points pairing positions here in this Austrian Grand Prix, the opening race of the season as well. So welcome along to everybody who is new to the 100% League. We are back. Of course, we have had one season previously on F1 22, which was over a season ago. It was 2 seasons ago actually, and we are back now for the 100% League. This with the realistic performance twist. Because of course the first ever 100% League in ALR was just a standard 100% League race to the finish sort of thing. But there we go then. Here comes Equaz now on the back of Moomin Ninja, trying to get himself through. Moomin might be starting to struggle there on those soft compound tyres. He's now, as Equaz there, trying to get himself down the inside then, and Moomin trying to cover off the move there, but he's now got himself past there, has Equaz, as has Jay Hings there on Liam Yeh. Liam Yeh struggling away on those 20 lap old soft compound tyres, and now Gordo is trying to get himself in the fray as well. I think here, is he going to go down the inside of both of them there? It looks like it's going to be 3 wide. Oh, we can't see the angle from here, but it was 3 wide very briefly, and Gordo then is down the inside. Then Jay Hings trying to hold on to the inside. Oh, he's almost losing traction there, and Liam Yeh is going to hold on to P6 there because of that traction loss there for the Alpine. Unfortunately for Jay Hings there, after getting himself back in this race there, he's done a great job of getting himself back in this race after a very early spin. He's done a good job there, has Jay Hings in the Alpine, but unfortunately Liam Yeh has held on to that position there from Jay Hings' point of view, that is. As into the box comes Liam Yeh. He's calling it a day there on the soft compound tyres, and I think they're going to be very relieved that they're going to be taken off that car finally, because they have done 21 laps there for Liam Yeh's Williams car there. Into the pits goes the Williams driver, and he has sorted that out now, so now he's going to be on to a new set, I think, of soft compound tyres, and will be absolutely rapid to the end of the Grand Prix. Out in front, the gap now is only half a second there, but German is staying out still. He is still sticking out there on the medium compound tyres. 35 laps there, 36 laps actually at the end of this one, as Lucas Percy now all over the back of him there. He wants to get himself past as quickly as possible. German stays out again. He's effectively done a 50% race on those medium compound tyres, because he's done 36 laps now as he crosses the line to start lap 58 then, as Lucas Percy does go through. So I'm not quite sure what the strategy is there for German. Then currently trying to hold out to maybe try and get the win on the penalty situation there, but he will have to hold on to the back of Lucas Percy, and that is not an easy feat in equal cars, to be fair. So he is going to have a bit of a fight on the cards. Technically, I suppose they're actually quite equal at this stage because they're in the same car. But there we go. Jay Hings has been passed now by Serious Mushroom. They're up into P9 for Serious Mushroom. Gino picks up another penalty. Into the pits comes Moomin again. Moomin done 13 laps there on the soft compound tyres. He's called it a day already on the softs there. Potentially going to go for another set to the end of the Grand Prix from here. And like I was saying with Tango earlier in the comment section there, if the rain does start to fall, then a lot of drivers who made another stop then might cost them a lot of places if it does start to rain here. But of course, they have got, oh dear, oh, what's that? Coop and Farf and Equaz and all over. And Farf, I think, made a little bit of a tap there on the back of the Alfa Romeo. Then that unsettled the car, and he's got himself back underway, thankfully. But yeah, he was trying to line up a move there on the Williams car, but unfortunately was knocked off balance a bit by the Alpine. Of course, Alpine and Farf there on fresher soft compound tyres. Into the pits comes German. He called it a day finally on the medium compound tyres after doing 37 laps. Then I think that's the best stint we've seen so far in this race. Then on a set of medium compound tyres, and hopefully away he goes. Is he being held in the pit, Snake? No, he's just a glitch there. He's back underway then. And Reflection is going to be very close indeed. Actually, Reflection is looking good to potentially fight for a podium here. Can he get himself out ahead of German? He can. They're side by side going up the hill towards turn 3. Reflection up into P3 now as well, and ahead of the AlphaTauri of German. Great stuff indeed there from the Aston Martin, and he's got the position there. He's currently on the podium places as well as Reflection. But German will try and fight back. I'm not quite sure what is going on there because it says it's 3 seconds is the gap, but he is back up into P3. There's German there powering past with the DRS assistance as well. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm not quite sure what the delta is up to there. It seems like German's delta is bugged there, so I'm not quite sure what is going on for German. Fingers crossed it will sort itself out at the end of the lap. But there we go then. Up into P3 goes German, back up into the podium places as well. Farf now all over the back of Coop there. Both these drivers are pitted only 4 laps ago then for a fresh set of tyres. Gordo is looking good in P8 and P5, I should say. 8 seconds behind Reflection, no, but he's got a nice healthy gap between him and Coop as well. Equaz there in the fight there with Farf and Coop and Equaz, sorry, I should say, for P6 at the moment, I think. But on the penalty situation, he will get both of them as it stands, that is. And Serious Mushroom there is gaining on the back of this group as well. Then he is trying to get himself in the DRS range then of the fighting pack ahead. Moomin has had a problem. I think Moomin is off the circuit there in Sector 2. He's back underway. I'm not quite sure what happened there to Moomin, but he's got himself sorted and back underway, and maybe pushing a bit too hard there on those soft compound tyres, trying to get himself ahead as we got yellow flags for Jay Hings as well. Jay Hings is off the circuit at turn 1. He's got himself back underway there, but he's just trying to get himself out of the way, I think, of R2 Beat then, who has got himself through up into P12. But Jay Hings, I think, is struggling there. Has he got a puncture? I'm not quite sure. Jay Hings is struggling on the hard compound tyres. I would have thought that he'd be all right on those hard compound tyres. There wouldn't be a puncture involved. But no, it seems to be okay then for the Alpine car. Just got himself back underway. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there to Jay Hings there through turn 1. A costly error then, if that was the case there. It cost him a few places, cost himself a place in the top 10 as it stands as well. Like I said, if the rain does fall, then potentially that could change in everybody's favour. To be fair, it could all change. It could all change in any Grand Prix. It could all change in this race itself as well, because we've got now 10 laps of action left here in this Austrian Grand Prix. And blimey, it's been an epic race so far. Like I said, thankfully my voice has been able to last 61 laps there, which is quite a surprise, because it didn't want to last 26 laps there in Silverstone for silver. But thankfully we've got that all smoothed out of the way there. Here we go then with Favre there trying to make it smoothly past Coop as well. Into turn 3 we go then. He's up into P6 I should say, turn 3. But Coop now with the DRS, we're going to try and fight back there on the Alpine car as well. Going to go around the outside into turn 4, is he? Trying to hold the move there on the Alpine. Deep on the brakes goes Farf there, but now with the switchback, here comes Coop then. Can Coop make the move back on the Alpine as well? There's a nice switchback on offer here for Coop if he can hold on to it now. Farf down the inside at turn 5. He's holding on to P6 for the time being. He's held on to the place there into sector 3 as well. Great stuff indeed. Great battling indeed as well between Coop and Favre. Equaz there is holding on to this battle too, even though he's on older tyres there and could potentially hold on to a P6 finish then with the penalties that are going to be added on there for Favre and for Coop there at the end of the Grand Prix. We will flick through the penalties in a few moments time, and hopefully there will be a driver of the day poll in the comment section in about 5 or 6 laps time. Here comes Coop there looking to line up a move there into turn 1. He was just looking to poke his nose in there, wasn't he? Just to make sure Favre was aware that he was still right on his gearbox. But Coop there has to slot himself back in behind. Here comes Coop though up the hill this time there on the inside to turn 3. And it's argy-bargy. There's arms out, there's elbows out I should say, but Coop has got the move done, and he's got DRS there to try and get himself away now from the Alpine as we go down towards turn 4. Farf there is just right on the back of that diffuser there, but still into turn 4 we go, and there's no move being made for Farf. They can't fight back there without the DRS then, and now Coop up into P6 there, and can he try and get himself away now from this battle then, can try and extend the gap there to Farf and Equaz as well. Oh blimey. This has been pretty good. I like this. So, yeah, good stuff indeed from all the drivers there. They're all soldiering on out there as well then, which is good to see. Serious Mushroom is now into the top 10, but of course is trying to get himself even further up the order as well with Jinner's penalty. That could potentially be him promoted to P9 as well. There potentially could be penalties as further ahead as well. We'll have a look at the penalty situation now because we haven't, we've been chattering on about it, but we haven't been doing anything about looking at it. There we go then. 3 seconds for Sickers Muck and for Lucas Percy in the top 2. Reflection's got a 3-second penalty, but it won't be affecting his race time currently. 3 seconds for Coop, 6 for Farf, and Farf and Coop, they're still battling away then through into turn 3 again. 12 for Jinner then, unfortunately that might cost him a place in the top 10 completely, as Vessier's got a 3-second penalty as well. Then 3 for Liam, yeah, 15 for Jay Hings. He's really struggled out there, unfortunately, for Jay Hings. Here comes Farf, they're down the inside of turn 4 then, he's got the move. There's contact between the two cars once again then this time, but I think Cooper's got the move, he's got the position still to hold on through into turn 5 and trying to go around the outside again. The one that of course hit Farf and Jinner were battling away with into the first stint there, but Cooper's going to be a lot more difficult to try and get past, I think, there compared to the to Jinner on the older hard compound tyres at the time. And now into the final couple of corners there. Farf is right behind Coop all the way through in towards lap 64 we go then. Only a few laps to go here in this Grand Prix, and that is looking good indeed. Here comes Farf once again there into turn 1. He's got the inside line, he's got the move done and up into P6 there, but now again same thing as before. Cooper's got the DRS once again towards turn 3 and is going to try and blitz back past Farf there up towards the top of the hill and up to P6 again. There goes Coop there, and Equaz there's, like I said, still waiting in the wings. Yellow flags, it's for a what's happened here, it's for a red, it's an Alpine of Jay Hings there off the circuit again, trying to get himself sorted here. He's not having a great race out there, unfortunately, for Jay Hings there, trying to get himself back underway. Movement has got himself past Styles. Styles is back in the pit lane there, so he's called it a day on the older soft compound tyres. But Movement, like I said, has got 9 seconds of penalties as well. Martin there is about to be lapped, I think, there by who is it? No, it's not. It's actually by German there. So Martin there is unfortunately down a lap compared to the top 3, as German has got himself past the Aston Martin car as well then. So unfortunately for Martin there and Kydell, they've been lapped in this Grand Prix. Styles has been lapped by the top 2, I think, as well, actually. So he is down the field there. Jay Hings is trying to soldier on there, but I think he's actually also a lap down to Lucas Percy as well. Coop and Favre resuming their battle though, and into turn 1 we go then. This time Coop has been passed again, and it's again roles reversed, or roles the same, deja vu, I don't know what you want to call it, but Coop now back up into P6 then, and into turn 3 again. This time we will see if there's going to be any more changes as well, because I think these 2, or these 3 actually, with Equaz included, they are going to be fighting tooth and nail then to the end of lap 71, it would seem anyway. So well, it seems like they're going to be trying that anyway. But there we go then. Serious Mushroom now all over the back of Jinner as well. They're into turn 4, but he can't make the move just yet. They're on the Mercedes for the time being. It stays status quo. Out in the comment section, we've got looking very good. Very ominous from Percy, says Tango then, but his fuel light is on. We didn't think about checking that, actually, do we? We have to have a look at the fuel lights, because of course no safety cars just yet. I don't want to jinx it, but no safety cars just yet then. In this Grand Prix, the fuel light is on there for the AlphaTauri of Lucas Percy. The same, we'll have to have a look and see if there's anybody else with their fuel light on as well. We'll go through the order. Jinner's got his fuel light flashing as well. That is bad news for Jinner there. That might cost him his place in the top 10. Anybody else there with their fuel light on? Jay Hings as well has got his fuel light on as well. That is even more bad news to compound his difficult race already. So Jay Hings, Jinner and Lucas Percy then with their fuel lights already on as well. That could be treacherous indeed, as again this battle between the Williams of Coop and the Alpine of Favre there resumes into turn 3, and this time Favre stays P7, but now he's going down the inside at turn 4. Can he hold on to the position this time? And he's got the move down the inside, he's got the position and up into P6 there. This time he's done the move and he's got it completed expertly as well. Well, not expertly because it's Farf, but there we go. German picks up a penalty. That's his first penalty as well. That will be very costly indeed, because technically he will be finishing now behind Sickers Muck. Then even if he got into that 3-second window without the penalty, then he would have jumped Sickers Muck there, but that 3-second penalty has been very costly for the AlphaTauri driver. there is your driver of the day poll then. Lucas Percy, Sicker's Muck, Coupe or Reflection there. Get your votes in. There's the penalty situation then for those drivers as well. We'll have a look at the position changes in just a few seconds as well. But that is that. Then yellow flags out there again in Sector 1. I'm not quite sure what is going on in Sector 1, but it seems to be a lot of problems there. Reflection up 16 places. That is very good stuff indeed then. Gordo up 6 places as well. 9 places for Serious Mushroom then as well, which has been very good indeed. Yellow flags continue to flutter. I think it's just a lap car potentially getting out of the way of the faster cars coming through as well there. So that is, yeah, I think that is, might have been Hungry Stars there just getting out of the way then. Farf and Coupe again battling into turn 4 this time. Coupe has got the move this time on the Alpine and back up into P6 there, but all this battling there is actually bringing Jinner and Serious Mushroom there into the fight then. I think with Jinner's penalties that will not be a factor unfortunately for the Mercedes driver, but for Serious Mushroom it could be very good indeed. Getting himself up the order then into the box goes Moomin back out onto the set of soft compound tyres I would imagine. Yes he is. So there we go then. So get your votes in then for the driver of the day then of the first race of the season. The 100% League is back then. Only 15 rounds this season. We'll be going until the end of April, I think it is, with a couple of break weeks in between as well, as Jay Hings has retired from the session as well. That Jay Hings is, I'm not quite sure where he's retired. Hopefully that won't cause a safety car, but he's whatever he's done it on track, I think there, or he's just disappeared anyway. So never mind. Unfortunately for Jay Hings, it was a difficult race there, but he's got unluckily got himself to 68 laps out of 71 to be fair. As off the circuit goes Coupe now. That can open the door for Equaz as well. Here comes Equaz there trying to sneak past the Williams driver. This could be influential then in whoever finishes P6 in this race, as we've got lap 69 giggity underway. I don't know why I did that. But there we go then. Yellow flags again. Yellow flags again then for somebody else on the circuit then. I'm not quite sure what is going on here. There's an AlphaTauri going slowly. It's an AlphaTauri going slowly. I think it's Lucas Percy. Lucas Percy has run out of fuel here on the last few laps. Then the red light is flashing there on the AlphaTauri. That the hard real fuel mode is activated on this car, and now the gap between Sicker's Muck and Lucas Percy is down to 12 seconds. Lucas Percy could lose the race lead on this lap. Then potentially the fuel light flashing away. Then, and I think that's why Jay Hings has retired actually, because his fuel light was also flashing away as well. And this is going to be costly for Lucas Percy then, the race leader, the pole sitter in this Grand Prix for 69 laps there, has led the race, but the fuel light is flashing away then, and he's going to be passed by Sicker's Muck now, and Sicker's Muck takes the lead. He's gone off the circuit now, and now it's going to open the door for Gurman as well. Blimey, what's happened to Lucas Percy? It's the fuel light flashing away then on the final couple of laps. Then he's run out of fuel there. 3-second battle for Sicker's Muck. That has opened the door now for Gurman to take the race win as well in the last few stages of this Grand Prix. But blimey, the unluckiness there for Lucas Percy then has been costly indeed. The fuel light flashing away. Tango did say as well to mention he mentioned that in the comments about 5 minutes ago, so he's well ahead of me. But blimey, the fuel light flashing away, that is going to be costly indeed, and that is going to be Lucas Percy off the podium as well, as Reflection comes through to take P3 away from the gold season 9 champion as well. He's going to power on, it looks like, to try and get himself to the end of this race there. We'll have to wait and see where he's going to finish up in the end. Jinner's picks up another penalty as well. For Jinner, that's going to be very costly indeed. Lucas Percy soldering on, which is fair play to him. Then he's got another lap and a half to go. Here comes Gurman on the back of Sicker's Muck then for the race lead, but he doesn't have to overtake now, because of course the penalty situation is in Gurman's favour. And blimey, this is blimey, I can't get my words out now, because this is how the end of the first race of the season is going to be. It looks like Lucas Percy, who was comfortably in control of the Grand Prix lead, has cost himself the race win here, as Gordo goes past for P4 now. And Lucas Percy is struggling away, but he's still doing his best there to try and get himself around the circuit as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, like I said, with low fuel mode on, that is that's not enough power going through those wheels there for the AlphaTauri car, I should say. Martin's been passed by moving there. Lucas Percy dropping out of the points pair positions at this stage of the Grand Prix. We're on to lap 71 of 71 there, the final lap there. Lucas Percy is going to lose out of the top 10, and unfortunately that is it there for Lucas Percy. Then he is going to be out of the top 10 now. Vessier up into P10, I should say, as a Reflection. Gurman and the Sicker's Muck then battling away. But I think Sicker's Muck knows that he's going to lose the lead on the penalty situation anyway to Gurman as well. as we go into turn 4. I don't think he actually does, to be fair, because he's still battling away. Lucas Percy retires in the pit lane. That is a pit and quit, unfortunately, for Lucas Percy. Yeah, unfortunately, that is him with a license point going his way as well. But there we go then. Sickers Muck then is powering on. Farf and Cooper switching places as well, but Farf now has 9 seconds of penalties. Sickers Muck there is still going in this race, but he's done a great job then. Here comes German over the top of the hill then to finish off lap 71 of 71 here in Austria then for the first time this season, and it's going to be German to win the Austrian Grand Prix for round 1 of season 2 of the 100% League. The AlphaTauri driver has done it then. He has claimed the victory here for the first race of the season in style indeed then, and well done to German there for holding on to the whole race, and he's done a great job there to get himself that win in the end of the Grand Prix as well. It's a long race indeed, but fair play to German as well. Sick as Muck there, P2, with a fantastic drive then from the Ferrari driver. He's putting the nail then to the AlphaTauris for the most part of the race as well. Secures P2 with a fantastic drive indeed there in the Ferrari, and Reflection there from, where was it on the grid? It was P20 on the grid there. Reflection gets a podium then in the Aston Martin with a fantastic drive indeed there, with a very clean, consistent and very calm drive as well, which is characteristic of 100% racing. He has done a great job to get himself onto the podium there as well in the Aston Martin. Great stuff indeed, and well done to the Aston Martin driver as well. Well done to all the finishers in this Grand Prix. It has been one epic Austrian Grand Prix. It's actually been the best Grand Prix I've ever commentated on. I would have to say it's been epic. There's been action all over the field, and it's been a pleasure to commentate on myself. But there we go. That is your. We'll run through the classification very shortly. Hopefully, we can get the people added to the interview party as well. But fantastic stuff indeed there. Wow, very good stuff from all drivers who managed to get to the finish line. Unfortunately, very unlucky to Lucas Percy at the end. They're running out of the fuel, and I think the same for Jay Hings as well. Jenna managed to get to the line, even with the fuel light flashing away then. But there is your podium sitters then. We have got German on the top step there in the AlphaTauri, then Sick as Muck in the Ferrari P2, and Reflection in the Aston Martin P3. Well, there we go then. There is your podium celebrations underway. And, oh dear. Oh no. What's happening here? Hang on. Right then, there is your classification then for the Austrian Grand Prix. German is your race winner. Sick as Muck in P3, P2, Reflection P3, Gordo P4, Coop in P5, Equaz P6, Serious Mushroom in P7, Farf in P8 then in the end with the penalties. Vessier in P9, Liam Yair P10, Beat in P11, Jenner in P12, Vintage in P13, Hungry Styles in P14 with the fastest lap point as well. That's good stuff from him. Martin in P15, McLaren of Moomin in P16, Kydell P17. Unfortunately, retirements with Lucas Percy in P18 with the fuel not going his way. Same for Jay Hings in P19, and Gamer has retired from the Grand Prix very early on as well. Then those are your DNFs for the Grand Prix. But that is the Austrian Grand Prix done and dusted then. What an epic Grand Prix it has been as well. Fantastic stuff indeed. We will, of course, be back in a week's time for Spain. In the meantime, we've got gold coming up on Sunday in Austria here as well in Spielberg. Same for silver on Monday and same for bronze on Tuesday as well. And then we're back on Wednesday in a week's time for Spain. So good stuff indeed. Driver of the Day poll. The Driver of the Day winner was Coop in the end there, but Sick as Muck and Reflection there were candidates as well then for the Driver of the Day. Fantastic stuff indeed, and hopefully we get some interviews underway as well. I think nobody's invited the interview people to me party, so I'll have to do it myself. Bear me 1 second. I will just get on with it and invite whoever I remember was on the top step of the podium. So there, bear me 1 second. I will try and get them sorted. Sick as Muck. And Reflection. Right, I'll do it myself, don't worry. Right then, that has been one epic Austrian Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff indeed for the drivers who've got to the end of the Grand Prix. Like I said, 71 laps of that one was absolutely epic indeed, and well done to all of those who managed to get to the finish there. As I said, Mushy got a bit hairy towards the end in the last sector. I think he was in the fight there with the with Farf, with Coop, and whoever else was in that fight as well. To be fair, there was quite a lot fighting for P6 in the end, but there we go. And we have got, I think, our race winner of German has joined us in the commentary box. Then German, firstly, fantastic qualifying from both the AlphaTauris there. Did you think you had the pace to win the race in the opening stages?
Yeah, I know I had the pace. Obviously I put a bit more fuel in, so that's what put us. He was really quick through the middle stint, and I knew he had fuel issues, so I thought I'd go long because it said on my game he was like low on fuel, so I went long, and then towards the end I was really quick on the softs, and I had a feeling he'd run out of fuel, and I just had to catch sick as muck, which I did in the end.
And you had the win already sorted or not when you saw your teammate there struggling with the fuel. Did you think that was the win in the bag, or did you think that Sick as Muck might still pose a challenge then in the last couple of laps or so?
Oh, I knew he'd posed a challenge, and but then I seen he got another penalty, so I was like, yeah, I don't really need to take him, but in case he gets a warning removed or something, I was like, I might as well just go for it, and then just to be sure. So yeah, it was right in the end.
Well, the first race of the season and the first win for yourself as well. Looking good indeed. Do you reckon you can get the win in Spain?
Yeah, all these tracks I love. It's like a custom season, so it's like perfect for me, really. I love these tracks, and just take it over to gold now, see what I do on Sunday. Good
stuff indeed. Well, hopefully we'll see you back in the podium very soon. And congratulations on the victory here in Austria. And we've got, I think, Sick as Muck joined us as well there in P2 there. Sick as Muck then from, well, I don't know where you were on the grid, to be fair, because it was a long race. It was a long while ago, to be fair. I can't remember.
It was, it felt like about that week.
But you got yourself a P2 position then after battling two of the fastest drivers in gold then in that race there. Of course, in the realistic league, it's a bit different, but you've done a great job there fighting German and Lucas Percy, especially in the first stint then.
Yeah, the pace they had was because I'm in the second best car and they're in the second worst or worst. I don't know which one it is. The AlphaTauris flip traits, I think. But yeah, the pace they had was unbelievable. But I when I was chasing Lucas, it said he had fuel management problems. I was like, that'll come in later. But Gernman, you made them tyres last. He made them tyres last in that middle stint. So fair play to him. Yeah, it was good fun. I like battling, as you would know. So to battle with some of the top guys and not take them off the track, I don't cause problems. If the other drivers around me now, but it was good fun. I enjoyed it. I really did.
No, congratulations to yourself. And I did forget, sorry, Gomer, about the 37 lap stint on the mediums. Then you did a whole 50% race and one more lap then on the medium compound tyres, which is pretty good indeed. But Sick as Muck, then you had the pace from pretty much for the whole race. And like you said, you were sticking, well, you took the lead at some points, but you're sticking with the AlphaTauris, which is no mean feat, even though it is unrealistic, to be fair. But yeah, congratulations to yourself as well. And do you think you can hold up the same standard in Spain as well in a week's time?
Spain's not one of my favourites, but all I know is I'll try. I'm more pleased at the fact that I managed to keep away from the rest of the field than I was battling the top guys. I was quite happy to settle for a third. So yeah, but it was good fun. I enjoyed every moment of it.
Well, congratulations once again.
Yeah, I hope so. Sorry, yeah.
P2 in the Ferrari as well. Great stuff indeed. I don't know if Reflection joined us, to be fair. But congratulations to Reflection as well then in P3 there in the Aston Martin then for his first race of the 100% League as well. But great stuff indeed, and congratulations to all the drivers who finished the race. It's 71 laps of pure hell, but they managed to get to the checkered flag, which is good stuff indeed. And of course we'll have I think it's 66 laps I think in Spain next week, so it's a bit shorter. But there we go then. But congratulations everyone to the first race of the 100% season. Of course we'll be back for more action then, like I said, in gold on Sunday. We've got the Austrian Grand Prix coming up, same for silver on Monday and for bronze on Tuesday. And like I said, in a week's time for the 100% League, we're in Spain, so we'll see you there.